feel like I do it. Stick around for this one if you want to be sticking around for anything. I don't know why. I mean, I feel like I need to kind of like drop down into the frame for some reason. Right now, I don't know. I've done it the past few. Shout out to whoever you're shouting out, bro. Man, dude, I'm in this for life. All right, this is episode 185 of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. Now, in all seriousness, I'm serious about this. I started a new series today, though. It's on In the Image Clothing Company Music, one of our fourths. Okay. It's titled All In, and I went pretty darn crazy with some lyricism, and I played a little the guitar here a little bit, throughout it as well, because, I got back to rapping as if, like, it sounds like it's like an event that I got back to after so much time has gone by. No, I just, it's been a ride, as I've said, these past few years. We've got a lot of context as of today's date. We've got Metronome Madness, a series under In the Image Clothing Company Music, one of our fourths, where a lot of what I did was just walk the streets and just speak random things off the top when I went on my walk. It was a lot of like freestyling like that around the gospel of Jesus Christ, as we do, right? 40 episode series. It ended down in St. George, Utah with the last episode, where I'm moving down to, where we're based as In the Image Clothing Company for life. Okay, we'll have the poodles, we'll have the building, we'll have our team, we'll do so many events, poodle parade events, all these things. Anyway, that's the point. This episode is about the fact that I am in this for life. I've been saying it so often lately. We've got 300 something, and not only 300 something, 333 as of today's date, videos under the main side of In the Image Clothing Company, where we allow the human body to work. That's what we do. It's the main side. We allow the human body to work. We do it through clothing, but we do it through our daily lives. Eating, sleeping, standing, walking, sitting, breathing, hydration, all the things we do as a human being, just approaching life with the goal being natural on all four sides. Okay, seriously. I just rhyme through things because I'm a lyricist, please. You want to know some things, bro? I've got some things set up in ways, and this is just, it doesn't have to be looking any certain way necessarily, but it's about what the reason of writing this on here is. We have a lot of free modifications in clothing. The whole thing is we're a clothing company. We allow the body to work because there's clothing placed onto our bodies with things like this that didn't exist in the past. Tags in clothing, rotated seams in clothing because, in modern day, we've got robots that we didn't have just decades ago before today's date. It's how I word these things a lot of the time. Seams and collars. When we need something even around the circumference of our neck, a lot of times we'll have seams in the collar of things. So we've got a lot of free modifications we give is the point, right? Clothing's the only thing physically placed onto us. These are just some shirts that I've got kind of like set up sort of to do this, just to show, events that we have when we get with people and do things like that. I'm rhyming even when I'm not rhyming, bro. I mean, probably not, because you're only rhyming if you're rhyming, but we do a lot, man. And so we do in-person events, and so shirts like that's the point. I can bring these, and the team can have stuff like this with them, and we can show a lot of things that need to be had in clothing and things that we never had in clothing, okay? In the past, we never had certain things like this. The rotated seams because of robots, tags in clothing because it only became a legal thing to do to label your unnatural material clothing when these unnatural materials got invented just decades ago from today's date. All right? Synthetic stuff, polyester, acrylic, and I don't know. It's all plastic. It's all oil. I could list off any kind of material that I could come up with in my mind right now. But, 100% cotton, man. Cotton? Whatever it is, that's natural is natural. Linen, but linen's scratchy, right? But almost everything was made out of cotton in the past because we actually didn't have the option to make things out of these materials that didn't even exist. They are literally fake. Man-made. They're made in a factory, and things we just pump oil out of the ground and, put it into fine little strands of things. We call it polyester. It's the same stuff our food's packaged in nowadays that it wasn't just decades ago from today's date. This is what I mean. We talk about eating naturally, and we debunk a lot of myths, and we do a lot of things to keep the human being healthy. That's the point, is allowing the body to work. We're only a clothing company, really? Because we discuss anything that clothes the human body. Designed in the image of God, that's where our 5-word name, okay, which is an episode title of In the Image Clothing Company podcast, our 5-word name, it's all one word. In the Image Clothing Company, just meaning no spaces between all those different words. Okay, it's all one thing. In the Image Clothing Company. Okay. I just thought I'd make it silly with the guitar after the cool beatbox, so. We do a lot, though, and we always will, under the gift of video. And that's what I say, that's what we've done. Up until today's date, that's why I'm saying the amount of videos we have. This is 185 episodes of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. Like I said, Metronome Madness, a 40-episode series. There's 333 videos, which, wow, that's quite the cool number to be saying right now. Just kind of happened to be that way with me, saying the numbers. But I say the numbers of the videos we have often. It's just, that's a great number. The Trinity times 3 as well. That's sweet, right? But that's a lot of videos, and they're all intentional. They're all pretty lengthy, most all of them at least. Our videos on the main side of In the Image Clothing Company are almost all over a half hour in length. And that's not some kind of bragging thing. It's just because we give so much deep context and understanding on the anatomy of the human body. The human body is just a mechanical machine placed onto a rock in space. And you can't quite see my arms fully in the frame here while I'm sitting on the carpet. In episode 185 of In the Image Clothing Company podcast, titled, I'm in this for life, Evan Strong is my name. As the founder, I'll just always label myself that, but I'm the one leading this. I'm the one that will, be in charge of this for my entire lifetime, and that's what I'm making clear here. But I have, right? In the Image Clothing Company and Evan Strong are one is an episode title of In the Image Clothing Company podcast, and that's the case, but this one's just a little bit more context, a little bit, more context. I said it twice because then it's said more than just once. Do you see what I mean? I'm giving more context because, not only just is this kind of like a part of me, but I'm literally in this for my entire lifetime. And I'm just making it clear because then right? I mean, that's the thing. We say a lot of bold things, and I say, if you've got a problem with us, stick around. Deeper context brings deeper understandings. And that's a lot of the reason, that's the reason, really. That's the reason why our videos are so long so often. So many of them, so commonly. You will find lengthy videos under In the Image Clothing Company and all 4 sides where you do. Because, we discuss the human body's anatomy, specifically on the main side of In the Image Clothing Company, with it just being, as I say, a mechanical machine placed onto a rock in space. We make a lot of, bold statements, and they're true. It's physically, legitimately, mechanically impossible to train the human body, but it comes with context. We have to be intentional about our bodies and their neutrals. There's a center line to the human body. God designed the body to work. It always just worked. We've got a lot of things nowadays that are man-made, and the body just can't, right? These unnatural materials, well, they seep into the skin the way that a topical cream placed onto the exterior of the human body's epidermis, known as the skin, right? The surface of the whole body, that's our skin. A lot of us know this, but it's actually called the epidermis, right? The technical term. It's an organ. We place topical creams on our skin, and it soaks into our bodies, and the intent is then to heal the body from the inside out by starting first on the outside. Interesting. Weird. So we place clothing items on our body that are synthetic, like these are here, which is ironic, right? The ones that I use as example shirts are synthetic. Well, that's the point, is the examples of things like, what to modify. Removing all tags, one of our 2 prerequisites under In the Image Clothing Company, just something that didn't exist a few decades ago as of today's date, that I'm saying this right now, right? They either cause a physical gap, changing the human body's only working position, and or they just don't allow musculature to activate. And the body can only ever work activated as a whole. It's all there. We can't drag around dead weight. We can't have compensation be happening. One thing compensating for another in the body because everything's there with its own individual role to play. There's neutrals, okay? The center line of the human body on Earth's center of gravity. We're based in St. George, Utah. I'm currently sitting in Utah County, okay, which is more central northern Utah. Welcome home. St. George, Utah is an episode title of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. I'll be moving down there, and that's where we will set up, as I say, base camp for life. Okay, the poodles, I'll explain a little bit of that, but there's a lot of context where there is. The team, our actual building where we can ship our products out from. It won't be a building you can come into to purchase clothing, like where you would, try on clothing at other stores. That is not what we will be doing. That's just not how we are structured or why we are a clothing company. Okay. But we'll do a lot with the poodles there, and I'll explain some of that. But there's a lot of context, right, already, up until today's date, in the Image Clothing Company podcast, documentations of that. I'll talk about some in here, though, okay, on the poodles, because they're a huge part of what we do, and they bleed over to all four of the sides of In the Image Clothing Company, and always will, okay? I'll talk about that. But the human body has to stay over Earth's center of gravity, okay? Keeping our bodies over Earth's gravity is a video that I filmed down there in St. George, Utah, when I was down there for about 2.5 weeks, about a week and a half ago from today's date. Okay, we'll be down there for life, but as of right now, right, we're still kind of settling into things, about 14 months, maybe a little more. Oh, yeah, almost 14.5 months into In the Image Clothing Company now. As of me saying this right now, today's date, the 4th? It's the 4th. It's the 4th. It's the 4th of December, 2025, Wednesday, okay? But the Earth's center of gravity and the human body's center line, these things have to mesh. There's a sternum, a spine, a trachea, a nose, and the jaw. The jaw is stabilizing the entire body. The jaw is our eating, it's our speaking, it's our breathing. And yes, it is the stabilization of the entire body with musculature up all across the side of the head, up to the crown of the head, and in the cheekbone area, from the lower jawbone up into the cheekbone area. There's a lot going on in the body, and we discussed the anatomy of the human body in such depth. But there truly is just only one way it can happen. The body actually working the way that God designed it to, and it's on the end of allowing it to. It's impossible to train to a neutral. It's impossible, physically, literally, actually, mechanically, in all senses of what it means, impossible to train the body to get it to do something. We recognize all the things, okay, that could possibly happen, just meaning anything that could possibly happen. Amputation, deformity, major surgery, birth defect, whatever it is. You've got an altered body, something that sets you apart from the universal human design. Just what we learn about in the anatomy class, all the muscles, ligaments, tendons, bones, and how they all work and mesh together. Well, we have to get as close as we can to this universal human design because that's just how the body's designed by God to be, and it's baseline. But we're all individuals, okay? Slightly and maybe quite a bit, and that's our own situations. We address it if and where we need to. But that's the point, because it's impossible to train to a center of gravity. It's impossible to train to a center to the body. The musculature connects from the outside of the body into the center, from the outside of the shoulders into the sternum in the center of the front of the body, evenly on both sides. From the outside of the shoulder into the center in the spine and the rear of the body, evenly on both sides. Feet are at our base, foundation, gripping arches inward, opposing. Talk about opposition in all things, the gospel of Jesus Christ. But yes, the feet oppose the center line of the body and grip arches inward, and they keep us vertical on Earth's gravity. So, we've got where clothing sits, and we talk about it for everyone because it doesn't matter. I say it like this: if you're a man or a woman, tall or short, skinny or fat, any age, from any part of the earth, or from any time period to ever be, designed in the image of God, we're all just a human being. That equals 10, and I have 10 fingers, right? All those things that I mentioned like that. That's why I do it like that. Yikes. No, but seriously, yeah, we're all just the same. Because when clothing's placed on our bodies, and really what we do as in the Image Clothing Company, allowing the body to work, it's about the angles and the positions to allow the body to work. The body's about its skeletal system. All musculature does is operate the skeletal system. Okay? And The human body only pulls. Another video filmed down there in beautiful sunny St. George, Utah, when it wasn't the most sunny week at that time that I was down there. But that's fine. It was November. It was cloud cover, rain. It was cool. I went on some rainy hikes, and we'll talk about what we do, where we do. I've talked about that already in ways, though. Okay. It was awesome. Good experience. I'm moving down there. Okay. We'll be there for life. I'm in this for life. Evan Strong as the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. Okay. This has all come out of personal experience, prayer, and revelation. Personal revelation, right? I mean, just God speaks to us personally. We have personal relationships with God, and he will reveal things personally to us through those personal relationships when we're being disciples or followers of Jesus Christ and trying to do all that we can in our sinful ways, because we are naturally just sinful as human beings. We're commanded to be overcoming the natural man and, yield to the enticings of the Holy Spirit of God and try to do all that we can to put ourselves aside and, serve God as he says that he is, and then we bicker and fight over that all the time, and it has happened since the beginning. Okay, in the beginning, God created all of the things, and now all of the things have the opportunity to have opinions. But you can't have an opinion on something unless that thing was first there. And that's the truth, right? So we just talk about life, the truth of all things. God. Jesus Christ is his name. Okay. We debunk a lot of myths. Oh, shoot. Under In the Image Clothing Company. We really do. But yeah, our bodies, having clothing placed on them, we talk about things like glasses and jewelry, whatever it is. I mean, even dental work and how big that can be with the jaw stabilizing the entire body. Getting into chronic patterning and scar tissue is what happens with things like oversized clothing placed onto the body. Okay. Imbalances in clothing, we get, like I'm saying and like I'm showing with these example t-shirts, for those of you in visual plus audio, those of you in audio only, which is another way of checking out In the Image Clothing Company podcast. I have these shirts here, like I was talking about a few minutes ago, and well, maybe quite a few minutes ago at this point. They're example shirts, that we could take to events and show people, and I can just discuss things about how clothing's affecting the body. Because with things like this, the oversized clothing, any imbalances in clothing, and there's many in modern day, okay? Or things like ropes introduced to the body, shoelaces and drawstrings, they're just ropes. And if we're tying one side over the other and just rotating our entire bodies, these type of things, when we say, quote, clothing, or anything that clothes, okay, unquote, clothing, unquote, clothing, after we quote it first, clothing, unquote, clothing, anything clothing the body. It's not about fashion. It's about the human body's anatomy, allowing the human body's mechanical operations to exist on both ends of their neutrals, okay? Because this is the whole thing. We get out of these chronic patternings and scar tissue. That's really what we do under the main side of In the Image Clothing Company. Because with the human body trying to work around things like that, oversized clothing, imbalances in clothing, ropes introduced to the body with shoelaces, drawstrings, ribbons around a dress, things around hoods of tops with just ropes one side tied over the other side, whatever it is, okay? And just positions in daily life, sitting in these unnatural chair heights, right? Cutting off the hamstrings activation when we're just sitting on that muscle on the rear of our upper leg. That's why I sit on the ground, right? If I'm sitting, I'm almost always sitting on the ground, times and places, right, for chairs. But not really for the health of the body. It just wouldn't happen until it did, right? We would never have stretch in our clothing until we did. I mean, that's the thing, is these unnatural materials, they bring stretch with them so often. Stretch goes the opposite direction of the only way muscles could ever work. Like I'm saying, all muscles only contract, meaning getting shorter. The human body only pulls. All musculature does is connect at endpoints, at bones, and pulls them in line, well, this way, in line together. But we have opposing muscles, okay? So even though we think we're pushing when we get our hand farther from us, we're actually just pulling the elbow to the shoulder with the tricep. We're pulling our hand away from us when we think we're pushing. We're just extending a joint by contracting or shortening muscles on one side of a hinge, like the elbow. Okay, there's only one way the human body could ever work, and this is what I mean. I don't have a claim. I don't have a startup company. I don't have any new information. We don't own these things. In the Image Clothing Company's shoelace technique is not ours. It's just what we title it. In the Image Clothing Company's shoelace technique, that's one of the biggest things. The only way the feet are shaped, with those gripped arches, the top of the feet is half of their function. You lift the foot, that's dorsiflexion. You point the toes, that's plantar flexion. There's a neutral between there where the foot's on the earth and we're standing vertical, okay? But we can't actually benefit from stretching the human body. Don't believe me, because I know that that's opposing a lot of people and their opinions. But the truth is, God designed the body to work. Designed to Work is an episode of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. That's one of the titles. Animals don't stretch. When they wake up from a nap and they maybe do this is actually them contracting muscles. Anytime you're just reaching away from yourself, again, you're not stretching. You are actually contracting muscles, pulling them together, right? But when we grab our own bodies with parts of our own bodies or put our bodies up against things and stretch on and pull on the muscles, well, that's not going to help you. That's why there are opposing muscles, because one side shortens while the other side relaxes. And then now that side shortens while the first side relaxes. But there's only a range. You hear the crack in my elbow? There's only a range of motion, though. It's impossible to stretch anywhere. You just hit the end point of a positioning. You hit bones together in the joint, like the elbow here, the humerus and the radius and ulna, which is the upper arm bone, and then the two bones in the forearms that have rotations. They'll just hit together when you close the elbow all the way, and so will your hand up at your shoulder. It's impossible to stretch, but there's a neutral, like the natural scapula position, okay? Our shoulders have a neutral height to them. The body has a neutral left to right, front to back, on Earth's neutral, if you will, center of gravity. Rotations in the body, internal rotation in the forearms from the fingertips up to the elbow, from their neutral, internal, back to neutral, external rotation, from their neutral, okay, external. So that's the thing, the thumb's pointing up here with the forearms bent at our elbows, and, quote, keeping elbows at the natural waist, unquote, okay, a video under the main side of In the Image Clothing Company. Just something we have to do in life because the elbows hang straight down from the shoulders where the hand is connected to the body. The elbow is just in between. Yikes. It's a lot of information, but this is what I'm saying is just, I'm making it clear. I'm in this for life. I don't have some kind of startup company. It couldn't possibly be. This is the truth of how the human body works. And it's not even our information. It's just God's design. It's been the same since the first human being, Adam, truly. We just discuss it and we understand how to allow the body to work. Our slogan, under the main side of In the Image Clothing Company. Okay? One of our fourths. But that's the thing, right? There's only one way the human body could ever work. These rotations from the neutral to internal rotation, and then back to the neutral, and then external rotation, they're in each of the forearms alone, okay, from the fingertips up to the elbow. They're in each of the entire arms, from the fingertips up to the top of the shoulder, where it connects to the body at the clavicle and the scapula, okay, or collarbone and shoulder blade. We get into the anatomy in depth. I mean, real depth. I mean, 333 videos of discussing how the human body actually works and why clothing in ways and cases and times which should be, avoided at all costs. Without avoiding things, just meaning intentionality. But yeah, how clothing is affecting the human body. Because that's the thing, a lot of our videos are titled The Importance of, right? Not how to avoid. Because we're clear, we're careful with our words too. As disciples of Jesus Christ, we word things well and properly in all the ways that we can and know how to. And you don't know what you don't know, and you can't be held accountable for what you don't know. But, we do what we can, and we learn along the way. That's the thing. So the entire arm, has its internal rotation from the neutral and its external rotation from the neutral, and it's just impossible to train to a neutral. I mean, that's the position that's between a side you can choose from or an opposing side you can choose from. The neutral is neither one of them. It's neither one of them. It's not either one of them or either one of them. It's in between. It's the space in between. Like I say, we got to dwell in the space in between in life. Well, we'll get into what we get into, and we have, but in this episode alone, that's what I mean is, let me give a lot of context here on what I give a lot of context on here, just to be clear on why I'm in this for life, what we're doing, at least a lot of things that I know of for sure as of today's date that we will always be. One of those is, like I said, video, the gift of video. We do so much under the gift of video. People across the entire earth can see what we do here in little St. George, Utah, because we can film something and the internet exists, right? Or however we share, whatever we share at any time period. We try to do everything we can to be eternal, meaning the same as God is, right? Yesterday, today, and forever. Shout out to the American Red Cross, just because I'm wearing this used shirt and it says that on it. Okay. But that's the point, okay? These rotations are in the forearms, the entire arms, the lower legs, and the entire legs. Internal rotation and external rotation. We can look at the wrist here, and there's a neutral straight out the outside of the forearm and down and out the end of the pinky. And from there, the wrist can drop down or it can come up. It can go in all directions outside of the neutral. A lot of motion in the wrist, okay? The ankle's the same way. Man, in the human body, right, there's just the pelvis that only has one position where we're vertical on Earth's gravity. The hip structure of the body, okay? Neutral, natural, and normal. Synonyms within the functionality of the human body. Natural is the goal on all four sides of In The Image Clothing Company. Naturally, the human body resides in its neutrals, and that's how it works normally, right? We just naturally do that. That's a normal thing for it to do. See what I mean? There's only one way the human body could ever work. There's no opinion, but we do have clothing placed on our bodies. And so this is the whole point, okay? Normal height to the shoulders, and yes, that means not all the way dropped down. You're already halfway in between in normal life. You can lift up from there or drop your shoulders down from there. Neutrals, okay? It's just how the body works. The pinky toes are straightforward, actually, because we have different length toes. So we actually roll off the end of all the different length toes evenly, okay? Which means our feet actually kind of just use the outside of them, so it seems. And the pinky toe, just like the pinky finger, is straightforward neutral, okay? Then we have internal rotation and external rotation. In just that lower leg alone, like you can see a little bit here, okay, you can just kind of see the top of the bottom of my shoe. Check that phrasing out. The top of the bottom of my shoe, meaning the peak, just like the peak toe part of the bottom of my shoe there in the bottom of the frame of the camera here. For those of you in visual plus audio of In The Image Clothing Company podcast, okay? Yikes. I love this, okay? I love it. I love it. I'm in this for life. And that's the thing is I've been saying the phrase in a lot of videos lately. Because I realized I realized I needed to start making it clear that when I say I'm the founder of In The Image Clothing Company, I know a lot of people will found a company and, have somebody else run it. But what I mean is just I'm the one who started this and I'm going to do it my entire life, right? That's what I mean by the title, the founder of In The Image Clothing Company, which is me, Evan Strong. And then that's why I make it clear, in addition to founding this, I am also in this for my lifetime. So if anybody tries to tell you otherwise, here's episode 185 of In The Image Clothing Company podcast, right? Take it up with me. No, not really. Just don't believe them, right? Don't believe me either. Don't believe me. Don't believe In The Image Clothing Company. Don't believe things on anything anybody ever says. Truth is truth, but we can deliver truth. We can point people to God, the truth, which is his name, one of them, right? God has many names. Perfect is another one of them. The Almighty, the creator of all things, the King of Kings, Jesus Christ. God in the flesh. Here's the thing. There's only one God. We are also backed by, wow, and I word it like that, and I'm leaving it there, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Okay, we we read the Book of Mormon here, and that's the thing with, debunking a lot of myths. Things are only what they are, and a lot of people have a lot of opinions on what things are or who people are, and that's why I say if you've got a problem with us, stick around. Deeper context brings deeper understandings. Same with this, you've got a problem with anybody, any organization, any, man, whatever it is, but the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, that's the thing, is go to the source. Don't listen to me. Don't let me try to tell you what the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is. I mean, I can tell you some about it. And I do tell you some about it. I tell you a lot about it, actually. The sum of what I tell you about it adds up to a lot. There you go. Catch the phrasing. I'm a lyricist, truly. We do a lot with words here. The word is another name for God. That's we speak a lot. Under the gift of video, that's what a lot of it is just discussions. Under all four sides of In the Image Clothing Company. This is me, Evan Strong, speaking, the founder. I'm just giving context, and that's what I do. That's what we'll always do, right? That's what I mean. I'm in this for life. We're based around the gospel of Jesus Christ. It's in our company name. And you might not know that if you don't know who God is. But he created you. Don't believe me, but it's the truth, okay? In the image of God is this universal human design that we allow to work under the main side of In the Image Clothing Company. And allowing the body to work really means allowing the human body to physically, mechanically operate across the earth. Okay, there you go. That's what we mean by work, is function. Okay, have its full ranges of motion without trying to stretch to something that's just already there. It's a range that a motion in the body has. A God-given range of motion is the full range of motion that people try to stretch into, and that was me in the past, right, as well. I get it. And there's no claim, there's no sales pitch. As of today's date, the 4th of December, 2025, we have no products. No In the Image Clothing Company clothing, no In the Image Clothing Company poodles, dog products, right, that apply to all dogs, as, they do, but if, right? Nothing. No products that we will ever have do we have yet, as of today's date. Okay, so these are no sales pitches. We could be In the Image Clothing Company forever without selling a single product. A lot of it is free modifications in clothing. A lot of it is just the anatomy of the human body being discussed and understood through our information here. God, that's humbling as all can be, man. Can you see what I see? I just see the future. Not really, but I see where God's leading me to with this. And that's what I mean, is it's not about sales. It's not. We need to make a living. Money-wise, just because that's, how we do things as human beings in ways here, right? Yeah, I get it. But, yeah, in all seriousness, we do a lot for free, all of our information, wow, that is free, there you go, will always be free, wow, okay? You see what I mean? We just do what we do under In the Image Clothing Company, and there are four sides to us, and there's a lot on each of the fourths of us as well. Okay, but this is what I mean, okay, with the body just being a machine and having things that it's dealing with, like stretch, opposing its only functioning with the musculature. A lot of modern man-made things like chair heights, countertops, and tables that the human being doesn't actually use mechanically, it doesn't actually happen, takes away our body's functions. We get stuck into external rotation only. Our feet arches collapse and the rest of the whole body traveling up gets damaged. We do things that are too big for ourselves, and we can't support ourselves with just the length of our own feet because they have to grip arches, and they're at our base supporting our whole body, and we just can't step outside of the foundation of the length of our own feet, forward or back or left or right. We do things too fast and too big a lot of times as human beings, and our bodies get damaged. That's the whole thing about keeping our bodies over Earth's gravity and how it's literally physically impossible to train the human being. We've got videos like, there is only one way the feet work. There is only one way the hands work. Because we've just got bones connecting to bones through ligaments with a thin layer of cushioning or cartilage between them. And the ends of the bones that mesh together are only shaped the way that they are. Musculature just connects a bone to another bone with tendons and pulls in line okay? Just two endpoints directly together. Well, maybe three endpoints, certain things like the upper trapezius muscle we talk about often. There's three insertions. I mean, there's multiple insertions to muscles where they are there in the body. The upper trapezius muscles, those upper trapezius, they lift the shoulders. And so I mean, there's just so much going on in the body. Darn, man. We have a lot of videos as of today's date. I'm just giving some context here, probably quite a bit throughout this episode, but there's a lot of this already here in places. I'm in this for life. I mean, that's what I mean is this applies to everyone and their dogs, okay? And we'll get into that. Shoot, man. There's only one way the hands can track in line. Look at the fingers. They all just have to bend and the bones have to clear each other. And if we're not in the neutral, straight out from the outside of the forearm, down and out the pinky finger, then if our wrist drops one direction or the other direction too much, then we just have angles of all the tendons going across all these joints and ligaments, and the bones themselves they just are on an angle, When I'm in short sleeves right now, for those of you in audio only, I'm in a long sleeve shirt, but I wiggle my fingers like this sometimes, and I show the musculature going all the way up the forearm, clear to the elbow, because really the hand starts at the shoulder, but the shoulder starts at the spine, but really the spine starts down at the feet, because we have to support our bodies on Earth's gravity before we can even go up from our very foundation at the feet. The feet are the most important, really. We shout out good companies doing good things. This is the brand Zero Shoes. We don't have any affiliation with them as of today's date or up until in the Image Clothing Company and Zero Shoes. No affiliation yet. Probably someday, but really, I mean, we're doing the same things. They say live life feet first. In the Image Clothing Company says allowing the body to work. But that's the thing, we talk about things at the feet before we can travel up. The importance of zero drop shoes. The term, not the brand necessarily. Any brand that's zero drop is the ideal. And not only that, it's a must. There's only one way the human body could ever work. No opinion. God designed the feet to be flat on the ground because there's only ground until there's man-made shoes. Okay, so zero drop, the term, and the importance of zero drop shoes, the video, under the main site of In The Image Clothing Company, and just the fact that it's important and absolutely essential, not just ideal. Okay, I didn't mean to say ideal, but I mean, the point is, we have so many brands of shoes with heels on them, and so many designs of shoes with heels on them in modern day, 2025, and going forth, who knows? The world's only getting more unnatural as time progresses, okay? Getting closer to the second coming of God. I mean, this is prophesied thousands and thousands of years ago in these beautiful books here, the Holy Scriptures, right? The Holy Bible, the Book of Mormon, the things we discuss here. That's the point. That's the truth. No opinion of mine. Go walk outside or watch the news. Don't watch the news, but walking outside is great until you run into the world, right? The man-made world placed onto God's natural earth. And you can see the separation. It is what it is. It's the truth of all things. The gospel, good news of Jesus Christ, God himself. Yeah, so zero drop shoes just means keeping the feet flat on the ground. Okay, zero dropping from heel to toe or from toe to heel. And anything underneath the feet, they need to be flat on the ground. It's just the only way they work mechanically. Those gripped arches, it's the same with the hands. That's why I referenced those two videos. There is only one way the hands work. There is only one way the feet work. Truly, I mean, we talk about the height of a gripped arch. That's a video's title under the main site of In The Image Clothing Company. But the feet grip arches and they rise up. And then there's only one way that's shaped, right? There's only one way all the bones can clear each other and track in line, with the muscles only pulling an endpoint to another endpoint directly in line. There's only one way all the bones just mesh without wearing out the cartilage, the cushioning between them. There's no opinion. Ligaments are just connecting those bones. There's no opinion. No opinion. We're opinionated people as human beings. And as In The Image Clothing Company's team, right? We're just human beings. But what we do here, we have no opinion to. When it comes to allowing the body to work, we just have to know all that we can about how it's designed by God to work. You can only allow something to happen that you didn't design. I mean, really, right? When we're discussing it like this, that's the point. We didn't design the human body. We didn't design it. We can't decide it. An episode title of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. A lot of what I talked about in there was actually just the earth, as well as the human body, just things that are out of our hands. God designed these things. We have no say. That's actually another episode title as well of In the Image Clothing Company podcast, right? We just get into things that are just so real. Yeah, I mean, that's what we do. There's one, yeah, there's a lot of episodes, so we'll reference some where we do, but even you don't need to believe in God. That's an episode title of In the Image Clothing Company podcast, which is a podcast discussing God and the fact, and don't believe me on nothing, but that's what I'm saying, is it is what it is. The fact that God's there regardless of if you believe in him. I mean, you don't have to believe in the sun. You walk outside and it's shining down on you. It's just there. That's what I'm saying. You can believe it isn't, and it is still. It's not your choice, right? It's not my choice either. No human being gets to decide truth. That's delusional. And I've been there, right? I get it. I mean, we're just human beings. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking down on people when I say stuff so bold. That's why I love to couple it as often as I do with don't believe me. And let me just say whatever I'm saying, and maybe I'm crazy, right? Metronome madness, like I was saying. I mean, let it be what it is. And there's the truth, right? That's exactly the point. There's only truth to life. No opinion. Man, and we never say anything perfect, None of us could, but we really get down to the truth, though. I mean, that's the goal. That's what we do. Our stuff lines up. I mean, it is what it is. There's only one way the human body could ever work. So we have to keep our feet flat on the ground, and then we've got the top of the feet, like I said, in the Image Clothing Company's shoelace technique. It's just what I titled as the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. The only way you can weave a rope across the top of those gripped arches and all the mechanical workings in the feet. Okay? We do a lot. I won't reference all the videos that I could. Each time I come up to is what I mean, something that has a lot of videos behind it, discussing what I'm saying here when I'm just giving some context. But just know we have a lot of videos, and that's the point, is I am in this for life. I'm in this for life. Evan Strong as the founder of In the Image Clothing Company, okay? But yeah, we just talk about the whole body because we have to more nowadays than we ever did in the past. People didn't just randomly run for no reason in the past. It's become a cultural thing. We've got so many things in life that just alter our bodies in our man-made societies and take our bodies out of their only workings, their only neutral positions, if you will. I mean, even when I'm sitting here, my body's just still in its neutral positions in all senses of what that means. We're on Earth's gravity always, There's opposing muscles always, Muscles only contract always. That's it. There's only one way the human body could ever work, but we just need the context. Because we've got technology, which we don't really talk about much at all because it'll change tomorrow. And we discuss universal, eternal truths under In the Image Clothing Company. And, a relative 5 minutes is what I mean by tomorrow. It'll change when it does, and it does. God does not. And we're designed in the image of God. And so is the earth we're placed on. Not necessarily designed in his image, but God is the great I am. All things are God that are there and unchanging. Okay. No opinion. Truly. Really. Don't believe me, but no. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's the truth of all things. The gospel of Jesus Christ. Not my information I'm giving you. Holy cow, no. Hear what I'm saying, know what you're hearing. I've said it since the very founding date. As far as I'm aware. I don't want to make that claim, but since the very, very, very start of all this, that's the point. Hear what I'm saying, not what you're hearing. Hear what the team is saying under In the Image Clothing Company, not what you're hearing. You think they said something they didn't. Don't get after my team, bro. I'm not kidding. Don't. Okay? Do not. But we've got a lot of things nowadays. The stretchy things, the chair heights, the countertops, unnaturally flat flooring. The human feet grip like the hands do. We talk about, quote, where grip strength really comes from. A video under the main side of In the Image Clothing Company is that. I forgot to unquote my quote. But I'm the one that quoted myself. So, yeah, it is what it is. That's cool. Because we talk about fingernails and toenails, all the way to the tips of the fingers and the toes, fully supporting and backing them, cut relatively flat on the tips so that we don't roll out of that neutral wrist position, okay? There's only one way the human body could ever work. These are not my decisions. All right, dude and sis. And it is what it is, right? Again, don't just like blindly believe everything we say just because we say things well. You know, I mean, we can mess up at times, sure. That's the point. Please don't believe us. But let us point you to God. And we really do understand how the human body works and how to allow it to here, okay? But yeah, I mean, the flat flooring, right? The tile, the hardwood, concrete, even asphalt to a degree. It's just, well, asphalt's pretty darn textured, usually. There's a lot of flooring, though, that's very flat. And our feet have to grip, literally grip the ground. That's why we call them gripped arches. That's why people try to train gripped arches. Well, because they grip, but also because they're not able to on slippery, flat, untextured flooring. All right, we talk about a lot of this with dogs as well, and I'll get to that in this. You know, we'll discuss what we do in here. In this one episode specifically is what I mean, all right? It's humbling, man, because we do a lot. That's what I mean. You know, we eat food, and holy cow, unnatural materials, synthetic materials, sure, but flavors, preservatives, colorings, unnatural, artificial. It says these words, which are synonyms for fake. On our food. It's not real food if it's got those words in it. The human body just has to process these things through it without being able to extract any nutrients from these fake things, artificial, synthetic, whatever they put the words on it. If it's not just natural, then it's not real. That's the thing, you know, we say when we talk about the goal being natural, it's not a choice. There's only natural until the human beings design things. Animals don't design things. Anything animals do is natural. Like a beaver building a dam in the water, or like a house, you know, like a bear digging a den. You know, they're making things, but they're still natural. Human beings, we conjure up things out of stuff in factories, pumping things from the earth and excessively heating it to like a very, very hot degree, mixing things together, and we call them synthetic because they are. I mean, it's fake, you know, it's toxifying. That's what I mean. Like the topical creams, these clothing items made out of oil and just synthetic, artificial, unnatural things, it goes into our bodies. There's holes in our skin where the sweat or perspiration comes from, right? Pores are what they're called. Those pores or holes in the skin allow these materials to seep into the body, and then we're literally being toxified from the inside out because you've placed clothing on your body that's not real, like not some kind of like belief to have. It's literally, as it's worded when they describe it, synonyms for not real, right? Artificial, synthetic, and whatever else they want to say. And then the stretch that comes often, right? And all the things. So this is what's happening in our food. And this is what I mean. We don't have some kind of like approach. We don't. I mean, there's only truth to life. That's people never. I mean, we've had human beings on the earth for however long we have, and people never, as I cut myself off right there, dealt with these things in the past. They never could have possibly dealt with these things. They didn't exist. They are fake. We make them as human beings. They are fake. Things that are literally worded fake, artificial, synthetic. I mean, it's not, there's no opinion here. There's no approach. There's only the truth of all things. God, the designer of everything that was here before the human being came. We were the last ones to be here. God created the earth and all its inhabitants in six days, right? And on the first 5, he created, everything else. And then the last day of creation, he put the human beings. That's like the last thought. I say it like that because we messed things up. And then God took a rest on the 7th day, and he sat back and said, "It is good." And then, as time progressed, human beings made it not so good. We made it artificial. We made it synthetic. And so just a few generations, or even one generation, just a few decades or tens of years before today's date, just because this is when I'm saying it right now, for context, a lot of these things did not even exist. Human beings just lived entirely different lives before modern day. Things that are flat, not only the flooring, but things that we hold in our hands. We have hand arches that correlate with the arches in our feet, okay? And that comes from the fingernails and toes, but you can't have hand arches unless you have feet arches at your foundation supporting your entire body from there up. Everything's altered from the lowest point. Again, you don't have legs, let's say. You've got amputations of the knees. From your knees up, you got to be intentional. You've got amputations at your hips. From your hips or your pelvis up, you have to be intentional. It's always about gravity up, right? The base of our bodies up. And the body can be affected from the top down as well. We remove things like, oh, my hat came off, for those of you in audio only. Even like tags and hats, you know. All the skin on all the body is the same skin on all of the body, okay? The epidermis, as we talked about with those holes in the skin, and thus things can seep into the body. Well, there's musculature all over the top of the skull. I can move all the skin on the top of my head, and I can wiggle my ears, the facial muscles, the eyebrow muscles. Yeah, the ears, man, that's a big one, you know. Things we place into our ears nowadays that alter our ears. The ears are essentially the jaw. I mean, it's just the hole for sound waves to come in between the rear of the lower jawbone and then the base of the skull back here, which is a bone as well. And there's this muscle, the sternocleidomastoid, connecting right behind our ears and coming down to our collarbone and our sternum. It has to barely clear the rear of the lower jawbone. And we place things into our ears nowadays, modern man-made things people never did in the past. And that'll change the arches in your feet. It'll change your jaw's positioning right directly, which is stabilizing your entire body. And then, yeah, out to your feet and out to your fingertips and your whole entire body between all the extremities is altered in its positioning if we alter the shape of our ears by just having things placed in there, right? These are things we've talked about the whole time. I mean, these are the things that In The Image Clothing Company was founded, well, by me, right? I'm not trying to be all, you know, taking credit, but that's the thing is I am the founder. That's why I'm saying these things, to give the context. I have been saying the same thing since the very founding. It's not like along the way I changed the approach or whatever. No, that's because we can't. We don't have an approach. It's God's design. It's God's earth. It's God's dogs on In The Image Clothing Company poodles. I'll get to it in this, right? Discussing a little bit at least about In The Image Clothing Company poodles. So, yeah, our hands have hand arches, but just like we have to have just naturally, okay, again, no opinion, but just outside nature, earth, before human beings came and made unnature, truly unnatural things. The earth has texture for our feet to grip arches. Anything we'd hold in our hands in nature, tree branches, rocks, what else is there really in nature? I mean, there's just plants, animals, and dirt, right? The human being is pulled from the clay, as it says in Scripture. We're only what we've eaten. You can't go from being a baby to being, in my case, 6'2" tall. That's a big change. From a little baby, about a foot tall maybe, to over, about 6 times as tall as I was when I was a little kid. Holy cow. It only happens because what we eat from the earth just becomes our bodies. We are truly only earth, the body. That's why we talk about the gospel of Jesus Christ. We're spirit children of God. Our bodies are just our vessel. And, I say that I don't believe in anything, and I mean it. And I say that you don't have to be religious to listen to In The Image Clothing Company podcast, and I mean it. And then I say we're spirit children, and some people are probably like, what did you... Oh my gosh, you reeled me in with saying I don't have to be religious, and now you're talking about church. It's like, well, yeah, but that's the thing, stick around. If you've got a problem with us, if you're confused about what we're saying, just, dive into our context that we already have. Because, even as of me saying this as of today's date, right, a little over 14 months into this, and I am in this for my entire lifetime. That's the point of this episode here. I'm in this for life, is the title, right? Episode 185, though, of In The Image Clothing Company podcast. We've got a lot of context before even me saying this right now on what we do, how we say what we say, how these bold statements are not bold claims. They're truth, but there's a lot of context. You got to have context. Context over content is an episode title of In The Image Clothing Company podcast. That's why the videos are long. That's why we do so much under the gift of video. We can make bold statements if they're true. You can say whatever you want, ever. But What makes us credible is because we discuss what we talk about thoroughly, to where there couldn't possibly be an opinion or a dispute. We're not interested here under In the Image Clothing Company at all on any four of the sides of us in things that don't matter. I mean, things that aren't real, because we're not just here to make money. We're here to actually give truth. We're imperfect, but that's the point. We speak things very bold, but the truth is harsh, you know. Man, this is hard to hear, but that's what I mean, is the wicked take the truth to be harsh. Those that are trying to serve God and understand that life is outside of our own hands because we didn't design ourselves, for example, okay, or the earth that we're placed on. You can't change the weather, you know, people, I don't want to be, I'm not going to say what I don't want to be. I know that this could sound mean, but people are literally delusional when they think that they are in charge of things and you can change the weather. You can write your own story until you get into a car wreck that you didn't decide to happen. And you can't undo it. God is in charge. And this is the thing. We just discuss things thoroughly and deeply to where, yeah, don't believe it. But there really is only truth to life. It's not our decision. We're not trying to get you to believe anything here. That's why it's so cool. It's outside of our hands. It's outside of Evan Strong's hands, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. I can't tell you bold truths on how the body works and the only way it ever could and how to allow it to. I didn't design your body. I didn't even design my own. But somebody did who's not any of us. See what I mean? There's only truth to life. And this is what I mean. This is how we really preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, is we don't sit there. I'm not trying to tell people what not to do. But it doesn't work all that often when you just teach somebody about heaven or hell. Just like, you better do good or you're going to hell, and, you know, kind of like leave it at that. That doesn't work a lot of the time. Because people want to know why they should care. Why would this even apply to me? Out of everything I could choose in life, why do I even want to listen to you talking about a man's name, so it sounds? Jesus Christ. Some people are like, what? Why? I don't care to hear that. Well, because where did you come from? Where are you going? Why are we here on this earth? And what is this life actually? These are answers we can only find in the gospel of Jesus Christ. And that's the thing with truth, is it manifests itself to you. That's how I can say, honestly, I don't believe in anything, but I know God. Just like I know when I step outside, the sun's shining down on me. Even if I were blind, I can feel the warmth on my skin. And I can tell the difference when the sun goes down, and I don't feel the warmth on my skin the same way from the sunlight being reflected off the moon. And there's universal truth, because north is still north to everyone. You know? I mean, there's just certain things that, yeah. You see what I mean? Context. There's some context. All right, I'm in this for life, because really what we're doing is preaching the truth of God. That's not our choice. Just to be very clear again, I've said it, but I want to make it very clear. Yeah, I mean, these claims that sound like claims, they're not claims, but that's the thing, is it sounds like it. These really bold statements, they're not my choice. It's not me, Evan Strong, having some kind of religion I believe in, trying to push it on anybody. I speak so bold, and I always just do that while I do that. Because you can, you know, How to Be Bold is an episode title of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. When you're speaking the truth, you can say it as bold as you want. Truth is truth. That's the second episode's title of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. Truth is truth, meaning it was true before I got here to decide, right? And same with everyone else that's a human being. So this is what I mean. I'm in this for life. We'll dive into church history. You know, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We'll do a lot down there in St. George, Utah. So much church history is here in the state of Utah, the United States of America. All right. Yeah, man. I've had a ride with it. You know, I got baptized when I was 8 years old, and then I removed my records from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, completely turned my back on it for 13 months. At around 24 years old, and when I was 25 years old, I got rebaptized. I mean, that was within a year back from today. I founded In the Image Clothing Company when I wasn't even a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, in my little hiatus I took. That's some deep context right there. This is what I'm saying. I've had I know what I'm talking about, so don't believe me. And I know that sounds so backward, but it's the paradoxical gospel of Jesus Christ. It's backward. It's like the body. There's opposing muscles to one function. There's three separate, so it seems, beings: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. But there's only one God that manifests himself in whatever way he does because he's almighty. It's like, how do we understand all these things? Well, we've got deep context. That's what I'm saying. I love that word. I love that idea of just being able to explain something so deeply, being able to understand something so well that you don't care if anyone cares. It's true. You don't even care if you care yourself. It's like, I don't even believe it myself how much God loves me, but I know it because he shows me in times when I feel like the world's against me, because it is. God's still got my back, and he shows me in ways that I couldn't deny. And I, can't believe it, literally, but it's happening. It's like love, Yeah, yeah. You just don't have to believe in truth. It's truth. You can have beliefs on things that are already there. So they were already true to begin with. I mean, beliefs and opinions, they're secondary to truth. That's the only way that can even possibly happen. I mean, words only mean what words mean. This is what I mean by I'm in this for life, is we do a lot of this. We live in a crazy world. The world that God came to overcome. God himself in the flesh, Jesus Christ, came and overcame the world. He died for our sins, man. We get into it, all right? So don't believe me, but listen to the deep context we give. And if you are able to receive the truth within what we say, not that what we say is always truth, but, right? See the separation, see the distinction. Don't listen for my sake or anybody at the team of In the Image Clothing Company. Come to our events and listen to what we do and be involved with us, right? An episode title of In the Image Clothing Company podcast, Involve Yourself, for what we're doing, the environments we're in at the events, the information we give, the truth we discuss for Jesus Christ, our, as in your God and creator. And am I telling you something? Are you mad at me? Do you think that I think I know what I'm talking about? I don't care what you or I think. There's only truth, right? This is what I mean. And I can say it so bold. It's not my choice. There's only truth. So what I'm saying is involve yourself for what we're doing, not for us, not for Evan Strong, the founder of the Image Clothing Company, not for the team, but come for the reasons why we're doing whatever we're doing, okay? And what's really underlying all of this, which is Jesus Christ, truly. Furthering the kingdom of God on the earth is really what we're doing here. And yes, through poodles, purebred standard poodles. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, I know I'm kind of just rushing through things, but I'm mostly just giving context on me and my role in this. And I have, but this is a very distinct, look, we know a lot as of today's day. And this is kind of how the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is. We get revealed things, what's worded as line upon line and precept upon precept, which means just a little bit at a time, here a little, there a little, as we go forth, walking, taking steps in faith in God, right? Not believing, not hoping in things, but having faith in God. Regardless of what we do hope for, believe, we have faith that God is in charge and knows best. And as we do this and act out of and in faith, God will guide us to where he needs us to be. And a lot of times that's not where we want to be or thought we were going. But he knows best. He knows you perfectly. And we don't even know ourselves a lot of the time. Who am I? Why am I even here? That's the point. The one who put you here knows. We point you to him. God. His name is Jesus Christ. We get into it. We read from scripture too. I'm not just sitting here with my own personal experience on my personal relationship with God alone as the only thing that I deliver through these sermons that I give under In the Image Clothing Company podcast, one of our fourths under In the Image Clothing Company. But we read directly from scripture as well. I quote scriptures so that it's not, so that it couldn't be my opinion. Do you see what I mean? I didn't write these books. Don't get after me for something that I say that if I'm reading somebody else's words or if I'm discussing God as he has said that he is, that's not me saying something. I'm discussing something else outside of me. Oh, God. I mean, that's what I mean is that's all you can do sometimes. Just be like, God, what else? What else can I say? What else can I do? What else can I? It's hard. It's hard a lot of times to get people to see the truth. And at times in my life, I was that person that wasn't willing or ready to see God as He was. But that's the thing. It's a journey. It's a whole journey, man. And you can watch my journey. You can watch my body physically transform since the very first video documentation under, date marking. I mean, we date mark things. I will always have the team under In the Image Clothing Company date mark all the things that we do date mark, right? We date mark basically everything, just about at least, right? That we do, because we're a record-keeping people as members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's like we're just here on this earth, man. And while we're here, when we were here for our posterity's grandkids, right? And however far you want to go down the line, we have the gift of video that's eternal. And while we were here, what did we do? The legacy we leave behind is just documenting who we were at the time, okay? And my name is Evan Strong, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. And I'm in this for life. That's what I'm saying, right? So there you go. That's the big thing. Anyway, the point is that there's a lot that we do, okay? Ah, man, darn. But you can see my body. You can see my body transform under the gift of video, just meaning getting out of chronic patterning and scar tissue. You do all the workouts you want, and once you stop working out, all the muscle you gained goes away to what we discuss as, just because this is what it is, the human body's only normal. Normal resting heart rate, rhythm, a normal respiratory rate, which means the amount we breathe per minute, a normal body fat versus muscle percentage in the body when we're just eating, the normal amount of food and drinking, the normal amount of hydration. Water just dehydrates the body. Hydration is a measurement of electrolytes and minerals in the body that store fluid. Water is just fluid. There's nothing in it the body can extract. The body just uses water for functioning. So people are guzzling water and they feel so dehydrated because they're flushing their system out of the minerals that hold the water in. I mean, that's the truth. Again, we debunk so many things because, man, there's only truth. Don't believe me. Man, we really talk about it, though. We get in such depth with things. I mean, I'm doing it here, right? If this is, yeah, man, maybe like the first thing you've heard from us. Yeah, if not, you probably know already, if you know a little bit about us, right? We do things proper and deeply. So, I'll talk about where clothing sits right here, because it's no opinion. It's the mechanical positioning of the human body. We have what's called a natural waist. Above our hip bones, or our pelvis structure, right? The center of our body where we bend, like we're bending forward to do a bow. Above those hip bones, but below the lowest ribs, that's called our natural waist. And that's just where we bend side to side at the spine. We can't bend side to side at the hips without lifting a foot off the ground, okay? Because our feet, with our legs straight, locked out at the knees, are essentially just a peg on each side of our hips, from the hip down to the heel of our foot. And you've got a lever of the foot flexion, okay, dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. The importance of even ankle flexion, a video under the main side of In the Image Clothing Company. Always stop laces at ankle flexion, the angle of the ankle. Okay, a video under the main side of In the Image Clothing Company. Here's a lot of context. This is great. But we discuss where clothing sits in a lot more ways than when I just say it. Baseline like this. But yeah, the natural waist, where the pants sit, is above those hip bones, but below the lowest ribs. And then slightly higher in the front than the rear. Because the point is, our pelvis falls forward in the front, potentially. That's an anterior rotation. Or it can tuck up underneath us, like the front of the pelvis coming up and the rear of the pelvis going down. That's a posterior tuck or rotation of the pelvis. And there's just a neutral to that on Earth's gravity, but we bend forward, and if our pelvis falls down forward, then it really just deactivates most all of the entire body. And then our feet arches collapse. We go into only external rotation. The feet grip arches from the outside of the pinky toe, where that neutral forward is, inward. You can't pull inward unless you start at the outside. The pinky toe is the shortest. It has to be on the ground. So we actually have to have our heels on the ground, and that's how we are athletic, okay? Again, the importance of zero drop shoes, the term. So there you go. We talk about a lot of things, and the pelvis is the center of the body. And so our hips just need to be even from their anterior rotation, like falling forward in the front, like we're just like pouring something forward and tipping it out, versus posteriorly tucking the opposite direction, like you're scooping something up. See what I mean? With like a pitcher of water, okay? A container of water. Yeah, we need to scoop our bodies up off of the earth, right? Earth's gravity. Posteriorly tucking the pelvis is what's hard for a lot of people, because if pant waistlines fall lower in the front than the rear, we lose half of our body's function. Okay? You're only in anterior rotation from the neutral, and there's posterior, the opposite direction from there. Your feet stick out, that's only external rotation. And then coming into the neutral, from there we can go all the way internal the other end as well, right? So there's only one way the human body could ever work, but this is the problem, is if you don't know where the baseline is, well, that's the only position, really. That's what I mean. If you don't know where the neutrals are, neutral, natural, and normal, the only way the human body could ever work, there's no possible opinion to this. We have to know. And if you don't know, then your body's damaged. That's the point. And it's not your fault. That's what I said earlier. You know, we can't be held accountable for what we don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So there you go. That's where the Image Clothing Company comes in with our phrase, don't believe me, or don't believe us, because we really know what we're talking about, but we don't want you to just take what we're saying as, you know, just, we must know everything about the body because we claim to allow it to work. Again, it's not a claim. I just want to take myself out of it while being totally in. You see what I mean? All in, man. A new episode of a new series. The first episode, the launch of All In, under In the Image Clothing Company music. I filmed that today, man. I'm a rapper. Truly. Like, literally. Rhythm and poetry, right? I do a lot of music stuff, and we'll get into it, but anyway, it's awesome. Oh, I love it. All In. We'll see where that goes. That's the first episode, the launch. I filmed it yesterday. I think I just said today, but no, that was yesterday. The second. The third. Anyway, it was yesterday, Tuesday. Might have been the third then. I think I said it was the second in the video, but you know, we do a lot, man. The pelvis has to be neutral, okay? It has to be, because that's our whole body. The core of the human body can actually never deactivate. People try to activate their core before they lift something, or, you know, stuff like this. I mean, it's like the core of an apple. You take the core of the apple out, where the seeds are and where the stem is, and the rest of the apple withers away and dies. The core of the human body is just the center of all of it. If it's ever deactivated, the rest of the entire body is, in some part, some way, like half of its rotation, half of its function, like half of a flexion, or half of a, yeah, I mean, motion in something in the body. I'm almost crying when I say that. You can never have a deactivated core, but it's also impossible physically, mechanically, to train the human body, because there is a neutral, which you cannot train to. And anytime you try to train the body to do anything, once you stop your training, it goes back to its only normal. There's no opinion, and you know it. If you work out, if you stretch, if you go to physical therapy or chiropractors, it always goes back to how it was once you're not doing these things, trying to get your body to do something. It's physically impossible. There's no opinion that could possibly even exist. It's a machine mechanically. It has neutrals because there are opposing muscles. This is what we really do under In the Image Clothing Company, and I am in this for life. And so this is why I make it so clear. This is why I speak so bold, because it couldn't possibly be a startup. It couldn't possibly exclude anyone, even in a wheelchair, even paralyzed through your whole body. You're still on Earth's gravity. You still have to breathe. Your body still only has one baseline of this universal human design, even if you're missing part of it, or it's partially deformed or amputated, or which would be missing part of it, right? Whatever it is, it's lighthearted. It's just that it's impossible to get the body to do anything. And all of a sudden I'm like spitting all over the place and I'm so bold and it's, it sounds like I'm so mad. I'm not mad at anyone about it, but a lot of damage and false information is getting taught and people truly just don't know what they don't know. I'm a people as well. The things that I don't know, and I could not be possibly held accountable for that. But the only end you can ever approach the human body on is allow. There's no sales pitch, no new information. As I said, I just want to make it so clear. Being the founder of In The Image Clothing Company, I didn't find this information. I'm just, I founded a company or a community of people, God-fearing human beings who understand the truth and are trying to get a deeper understanding of it. Again, a name for God himself. Jesus Christ is the truth. Okay, because that's the case. He is. He is. Again, God is. It says it like that in Scripture. Don't believe me. But also, I'm not just saying because it says in Scripture. It's life, man. It lines up with your life. I don't care who you are. God is your God. Jesus Christ is your God, your Savior, your Redeemer, your Creator, and you don't get to decide. Where'd you come from? Well, that's where. Don't believe me, but let's dive into it. If you want to come along, right? Just meaning if you want to kind of follow what we do, if you want to involve yourself in the ways you do. And really, we're just pointing you to God. That's the point. It's not about us. Couldn't be. Okay? It literally could not be. It would be impossible for it to be. Just like it's impossible to train the body. We don't get to have decisions on things that we didn't decide. It's on the back end. It's allowing the body to work, okay? Anyway, this is a lot about the human body that I'm discussing here. And yeah, the core, it would always work. There's nothing ever placed on the body to clothe the human being. Just like every animal out there, its core always is activated. Animals don't do workouts. Animals don't wear pants. Or shoes, or tops, or hats with tags in them, right? Rotated seams and all this, Anyway, it is what it is. A lot of free modifications. So, that we have under In The Image Clothing Company. In The Image Clothing Company's rotated seam modification. If we have rotated clothing on Earth's gravity, well, that's a video title under the main side of In The Image Clothing Company, right? It doesn't mesh. A center to gravity plus a center to the human being, and then something rotated we place onto the human being? Wow, doesn't work. But we don't know these things. How could you? How could you know? Another episode title of In The Image Clothing Company podcast. Anyway, yeah. That's the point. We just don't know. So anyway, pants at the natural waist, above the hip bones there, below the lowest ribs, slightly higher in the front than the rear, which opposes a lot of modern designs. Jeans, most all jean designs, no matter what, just because of the length of the fabric stitch that they put into there and how they do that thing in the rear they do, the rear is higher. The length of the material they sew the pants out of is longer or taller or higher in the rear. Our pelvis has to tuck underneath us. That's the only way you can contract your abdominal muscles is by tucking your pelvis underneath you. And again, I'm not condemning others. I'm not trying to talk down, but I have to speak it as bold as I do because it's the truth. And a lot of people don't want to believe it. And I don't believe in anything, but it's the truth. But it's hard to hear sometimes. Clothing is the only fix to your body's problems if you're wearing it. If you don't ever wear it, your body shouldn't have problems. Like this at least. See what I mean? Physically functioning like that. No, because that's, no. It's just the truth. Don't believe it. It's the truth. So there you go. Tops that we wear. We have seams on top of our shoulders. We also have shoulders with a peak, which is just the other end of the collarbone from the sternum in the center here, okay? The top of the shoulder is the peak of the, just meaning the end of the collarbone, which just determines the positioning of the shoulder, right? The scapula is the shoulder, the collarbone is the shoulder, the upper end of the upper arm bone is the shoulder. There's just three bones meeting there and making a joint of bones. Bones joining. It's just literal wordage. There's nothing new here. That's what I mean. It's not our information. It's the truth. We're just discussing it in The Image Clothing Company. Man, anyway, I just know that a lot of people have a hard time with this. Yeah, I don't believe it then. Still applies to you just the same. All right, so yeah, the top seams of our shoulders have to sit behind the peak of our shoulders evenly, just behind that little bone on the top of the shoulder. Because our shoulders just connect behind our head. The musculature that raises the shoulders is called the upper trapezius. Okay, there's an upper, middle, and lower trapezius. The upper trapezius connects to the top and the rear of the shoulder, along the spine of the neck, which is the cervical spine, and then to the very base of the rear of the skull, right off the side of the spine there on both sides. There's an upper trapezius muscle, which you can see here for those of you in visual plus audio of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. And it connects clear to the back of the head. The shoulders only ever work behind the head. All musculature does is pull. The human body only pulls. Muscles only contract. Two endpoints together. But that's the thing is, one endpoint is out at the end of the shoulder, if you will. I mean, really, it's along the whole top of the back part of the shoulder here at that scapula. You know, I mean, it connects just to the shoulder where it does there, but it's just behind the peak of the shoulder because it comes to the spine and then to the base of the skull. And so when where the muscle connects pulls to the other parts of where the muscle connects and just pulls straight in line from those points, it's behind our head. There's no opinion or no posture to train. It's impossible to train posture. There's a neutral front to back for the shoulders, a neutral up and down to the shoulders, like I was showing, a neutral in rotations to all the rotations of the body, a neutral to the pelvis position, a neutral to Earth's gravity, and a center line of the body. It's impossible. I mean, that's all the discussion you could ever need, and it applies to every human on the face of the planet for literally ever. It's impossible to train the human body. That's why we're a clothing company. That's why we can even say a phrase like allow the body to work, rather than everybody, let's have opinions on how to get our bodies to do something they never will, and do it again next week or 3 times a week for 6 reps of 8 sets. And, you know, anyway, that's a lot of sets for 6 reps. I just mean, you see what I mean? It's and then you got battles between people on, no, this works, no, that does, and none of it does. Truly, none of it does. It couldn't. It could not. It's impossible. Again, things that are out of our hands. People like to think that everything is possible. Change the weather for me, then. Change the weather for yourself and prove it to me, is what I mean, right? No, you can't. You cannot. You are not in charge. God is. These are not my opinions. I'm the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. All right, I get it. When the team speaks bold, don't come after any of us. I was going to say, like, you know, nothing else, because no, don't. I mean, just get over yourself. We all have to, myself as well. Me saying this, you know, we have to humble ourselves before God, and really we have to let God humble us. You think you know what you're doing with your diet plans and your workout routines. There's only one way the body does anything. Actually, properly. The only way it's designed to. Okay? No opinion. No possible opinion. This is In the Image Clothing Company. This is why I founded this thing, because I wanted to help. I wanted to change the world as a kid. Seriously, yeah, I wanted to do good things. You know, I wanted to help people. People ask me what I want to do when I grow up. I want to help people. Here we go. If you know, you know what In the Image Clothing Company really is. I am the founder. In this for life. Evan Strong. Okay. In this for life. I'm in this for life. That's the title. That's the title. Because we're already on 184. I mean, we've got maybe hundreds of thousands of who knows, millions of who knows, billions of, well, I don't know, right? But that's what I'm saying. We'll just keep going with this. I'm in this for life. That's what I am saying. That is the title of this episode 185 of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. I'm not wrapping it up because we've got a lot to discuss here for the sake of just giving context on my role in this, what we're really doing, okay? Date marked the 4th of December, 2025. Anyway, yeah, so the top seams of our shoulders need to sit evenly behind the peak of our shoulders, but we've got things that don't allow that to happen. You know, so a lot of free modifications we give. The edge seams of our tops, and this shirt's not the most ideal to show this with, but just the way that this shirt fits, it fits me pretty well. It's a little bit wider at the shoulders than ideal, which, you know, it's probably good for it to be the shirt that I chose in this, to show that, like, yeah, I preach what I have practiced, but I'm not perfect, right? But also, I didn't design this shirt. I just bought it used. See what I mean? I mean, It is what it is. But the edge seams of our shoulders need to be as close as we can get, right to the very edge of the functionality of the shoulder joint where those bones mesh together that I was discussing. Those three bones come together. Well, we've got material that's joining in the same spot is where it has to be joining, right? Is the same spot as close as we can get to where the shoulder is joining. Yeah, just right at the joint of the edge of the shoulder is the edge seams of our clothing, whatever clothing it is, because that's where the motion of the joint is. Otherwise, we're trying to work around what that would essentially be is an oversized top. Oversized clothing, one of those things that I say gets us into these chronic patternings and scar tissue in the body. And then we think that we need to train it to do something. It never will. We just have to rid the scar tissue. We just have to allow the body to be able to get back to its neutral positions and have both sides of something, right? I mean, most people are stuck in only one side of a motion in their body. External rotation with, the rotations. External is just away from the body's center line, but all muscles only pull, and the muscles connect to the center line of the body, I mean, most all of them, that's the focus at least, because that's where gravity's pulling you to. You see what I mean? It just is what it is. There's no pain, no possible pain. Yeah, man, it's humbling. It's humbling to a prideful me, right? I mean, yeah, I get it. I'm prideful. I speak bold. I sound like I'm just so right about things all the time. I know. And here's me confessing this. If anyone's ever got a problem with that, I get it. Yeah, I do that. I'm a human being, bro. I try to take credit for things that I can't at times. I think that other people should know the things that I know at times and often, because I'm really smart. Oh, but is that me being prideful? That's what I mean. I'm just who I am. Truth is truth. I'm smart, I mean, it's hard for me to not be prideful because just, who I am. I mean, we just play our roles in life. And my role is a sinful human being. There you go. That's why I need God. Y'all too righteous for church. Anyway, please don't be. Come, right? Come one, come all. Come all to the one God that we have. There you go. Anyway, good stuff. That's what we're doing here is just whatever we're doing here. And a lot of it is this, okay? And it's going to be cool. I'm in this for life. But that's like baseline, okay, of where clothing sits. I mean, we talk about the cuffs of sleeves. We talk about socks. We talk about a lot of little important things to focus on in shoes. We talk about materials. We talk about excessive, pockets and buttons in places and zippers and modifying these things and shoe tongue tabs. Holy cow, what is that even? Some people don't know, right? Anyway, yeah, I mean, we talk about so many things. Arch support, that's a myth, actually, in shoes. We talk about so much. We talk about the whole body. We talk about eating. Keeping the jaw centered. We put so much focus on the jaw because it is the center of the body, but also it stabilizes the entire body, not just the head on top of the body, but it stabilizes the whole thing. Okay, I discussed that a little bit at the beginning there. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. The human being, and we understand it here. Let me say it like this, and I, I think I've worded it just about exactly like that going into it past times before today's date that I've said it like that. The hands are the feet. The wrists are the ankles. The forearms are the lower legs. The elbows are the knees. The upper arms are the upper legs. The shoulders are the hips. The jaw stabilizes the entire body. And the spine is just connecting the extremities. From the hips down to the feet, the spine connects that up to the shoulders, and then from there we've got the shoulders out to the fingertips, if you will. And those things correlate with their functioning. The hands are just about the exact same function as the feet, only one difference in the amount of bones in each. The forearms and the lower legs both have two bones in them that just rotate over each other. The elbows and the knee are fairly simple hinge joints that also accommodate for the rotations traveling up into them from the lower legs to the knees or from the forearms to the elbows. The upper arm and the upper leg is just one solid bone that both come into a capsule and have a lot of motion that's really similar in a lot of ways, internal and external rotation. And let me say that a little clearer, internal and external rotation. And yeah, just all the functions that both the entire arm and the entire leg have stemming from the shoulder or the hip. The spine, we can bend forward to back, left and right. I bent right to left. But yeah, There's torsion in the spine, which should never happen. We should never twist our bodies. Things like this. A lot of myths. There's workouts telling you to twist your spine. I've got even this is to the body, or we don't have a working body. When you twist the body, you're just putting what we call torsion on the spine, twisting on all those little vertebrae, or those little bones that are stacked up from the top of the pelvis to the base of the skull, the entire spine with 3 parts, right? The cervical, the thoracic, and the lumbar. All this stuff just needs to be evenly opposing the center line on Earth's center of gravity. When we start twisting the body, oh man, you might be doing it already with shoelaces and drawstrings. And so your body, if it's already in a twist, you might try to twist it during workouts. And what you're doing is really, really, really twisted. Truly, it's bad. It's so damaging, and it lasts for your entire life sometimes. You get injuries that alter the rest of your entire life sometimes. Patternings and stuff just sometimes never gets addressed because you don't know what you don't know, and it's not your fault. That's why it's so important to discuss what we do, and so boldly, because it's not an opinion. It's a mechanical machine, though. I mean, it has neutrals, and there's only one way. God is that way. There's only one way the human body could ever work. No opinion possible to have. A lot of context we've already given, as in the Image Clothing Company. So don't believe us. Shoot, man. It's our slogan, though, allowing the body to work, because we know how to. Holy heavens. We're going to shock a lot of people, too, as I've said, physical therapists and things like people like this, that have been doing things for 2 or 3 times my lifetime, maybe, and they're doing things wrong. It's not me having an opinion on that or being the one that's like right because I'm right, but there's only truth. And a lot of people are, like 40 years into a physical therapy career after 10 years plus of schooling to learn how to do that. And they're giving false information of the only truth of the universal human design that they're learning about in the anatomy classes. But you have to know why it's not working before you can allow it to. Otherwise, it would just work. If there wasn't any reason it wasn't working. Look at the animals. Don't believe me. They're the same thing. They're just mechanical machines. It's like dogs. We specialize in purebred standard poodles under In the Image Clothing Company Poodles, one of our fourths, but we give information that applies to all dogs and really all animals in the ways that it does, truly, right? Letting dogs stay natural is what we do. The same thing as allowing the body to work for human beings. So we talk about everything. Sleeping, standing, walking, breathing, eating, hydration, sitting. If I didn't say that already, which I'm sitting on the ground. Again, context. There's only Earth. There's no man-made chair heights out there in God-made nature. There's rocks you could come across, or stumps, maybe, fallen logs that are that height, but you wouldn't sit on it naturally if your body was working naturally. Don't believe me, but take my word for it. Don't believe my word, but believe the word of God. We're designed in the image of Jesus Christ, a name you can never wear out. So we say his name often. There is power in the name of Jesus Christ, okay? God, the Almighty. Almighty is as powerful as it gets. Okay? Jesus Christ. God himself. But yeah, letting dogs stay natural, we do a lot with breeding. Information on breeding, and we do breed purebred standard poodles. As of today's date, not quite yet, but that's the thing. We're doing it proper, and I'm doing all that I need to before it ever happens to do it proper. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, registering dogs, furthering good bloodlines of dogs through just doing it properly, choosing correct dogs by health testing the mother and father before we ever even try to breed dogs together. Keeping less dogs in shelters and more dogs at homes is what comes from these things with, giving information on how to really be a good owner of a dog, how to label your dog correct. We've got things nowadays, like microchipping and things through technology that are actually very beneficial. A lot of technology can be very damaging, but the paradoxical gospel of Jesus Christ, but just having information on our dogs, in our dogs, and that can sound scary, especially with the goal being natural. I understand, but yeah, I mean, again, the context needs to be there on what's really happening in these instances before you can really understand what's really happening in these instances. Okay. But yeah, keeping the dogs in good health, feeding them properly, and just giving a lot of information, okay, on dogs. A lot of what we do with our poodles is what people do with therapy dogs, service dogs, support animals, through physically supporting people, human beings, okay, or emotional support animals. We do a lot of these things. We'll work with a lot of people. I mean, that's what I mean. I shout out companies. I've talked about the dog food brand Pure Harmony quite a few times, actually, before today's date. And I've never contacted them before today's date. But if we do, and Zero Shoes and certain brands, just good people doing good things. We just give credit to good people doing good things. But also, we'll work with good companies. We'll have collaborations with a lot of good people, do a lot through the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and it'll be really great. Okay, a lot of what's to come, and I'm the one that's behind this, at least for however long I live on this earth. So I'm in this for life. Okay, just the context. Now, this is a big thing, man. The dogs are going to be amazing. Oh, shoot. I mean, I've already done quite a bit over at the South Utah Valley Animal Shelter here in Utah County. We do a lot of things. We've just got a lot of series on different sides of in the Image Clothing Company. Oh my gosh, there's so much to mention in here. Yeah, man, Poodle Parade events is one of the things we'll always have a lot of, and I keep talking about it because you'll see why. I'm gonna be the one though. That's the thing, is I'm in this for life. I'm giving the context. That's what I'm saying. We'll get people into nature and dogs into nature and do a lot with, just, getting people to be rooted and grounded on God's earth. Dogs are really great for people. They do so much for us. The earth and just nature does so much because it's all that was ever there. And some people don't even understand what it really is like. They're living in man-made cities, So we do a lot, man. Interacting with our dogs as the owners is a lot of what we show too, holding leashes naturally so we don't alter our bodies. We talk about the height of dogs and the size of dogs versus the size of owners so that we can interact with them and keep our bodies healthy. And these are things that I've said many times, a lot of these things, but this episode is one that we will be able to refer people back to specifically on context on me, for context on Evan Strong as the founder, as the one who's behind this. You can just mostly hear me actually saying these words. I mean, you can just see what we do and you can talk to the team about what we do, but, this is me actually explaining, like, I'm the one behind this. I'm the human being that God is working through to make In The Image Clothing Company be what it is. It didn't exist before I have done what I have done. That's why this one's like it is, even if this is kind of like a rerun in a lot of ways of a lot of our information, because it really isn't. I mean, I'm saying a lot of the things that we say often, but we're a company. I'm just explaining what we are. I mean, you see what I mean? Oh, shoot, it's cool. It's really cool. So much with the dogs. It'll be really great. Yeah. Now, here's the big thing, too, man. A lot of big things. St. George, Utah is where we're going to be based, which is crazy, okay? So much in the desert. I love the desert. Man, it's going to be hot. It's going to be really hot in the summers, right? So prepare. It's going to just be really cool, okay? So anyway, with being in this for life, though, I think that's the point, is what are some things that I can say here to really give context on, what my role is in this, I guess, I just... hits me hard, man. I need to say this. It doesn't matter what I want. I tried to film 2 other episodes of In the Image Clothing Company podcast earlier, and they didn't work. It kind of ended up like this. I was just like, shoot. I just got so humbled by it. I don't even know, I got like stopped in my tracks. I don't know how much of it's just the warfare, we talk about just pushing through warfare, we've got things blocking us from what we need to be doing. Oh gosh. It's so hard. I mean, I can't explain that. It's something you can't understand if you don't understand. I mean, I literally get to the point where I mean, I just feel like I hit a literal wall. It's like I'm actually just walking and I physically run into a wall. That's how it feels. I mean, you could tell. The countenance just like dropped. Took my hat off. I don't even know, man. I don't know. And I don't know what to do right now. I don't know if I just keep speaking or what? Because the other 2, like I said, that I filmed, they were 2 other topics. And I got a little ways into each of them and I stopped. I don't know why. I've never had it happen quite like this, ever. We've done so many of these, I don't know what to say. It's like I want to just lay down. It's so strange. I don't know why. I think that maybe that's the point, is just giving some real good, deep, like, rawness. Like, I'm just a kid, man. I mean, I sit here and I kind of scream about some things behind the camera. I'm no different. It's not like I'm putting on a show behind the camera and then, because that's what I say, right? Blunt, bold, raw, and real. Oh man, I wonder if God just had me not be able to finish those other 2 episodes to get me to this episode. So that's documented today, time stamped in this kind of like transition phase where, I'm going to be moving to St. George. We'll get Nita, the first poodle, to be the matriarch of the breeding program and just the start of all of what In the Image Clothing Company poodles will always be. Also my first dog. It's just, I mean, we're in a time period right now. My mom just had heart surgery a week ago yesterday. A week ago, 2 days ago now, yeah. And I honestly don't know if she's going to make it through the recovery. I've just said that. I keep feeling prompted to say it since I first found out she was going to have heart surgery, since I heard the phone call. Yeah, I mean, yeah, last Saturday, about a week and a half ago Saturday. I mean, I got this prompting that my mom wasn't even going to make it, just through the recovery process of her 5 bypass open heart surgery a week and a half ago. Well, just about, right? A week ago from Monday. Yeah, I mean, shoot, man. And I started to talk about that a little bit in, I mean, yeah, yeah, right. I was trying to film other episodes here, and I was talking about that. I don't think my mom's gonna make it, and I don't know if that's what it is because that seems to be the theme. The past quite a few episodes of In the Image Clothing Company podcast, just this past week or week and a half, whatever it's been since, the surgery. It's been right around a week and a half. Almost. I've given context, I don't think my mom's going to make it through the recovery process of the surgery. And I'm content with it, and I mean, it's a good thing, really, for her sake, in the state that she's in physically and has been. If it's time for her to go back home, it's time for her to go back home. That's what it means to, man, that's what it means to die from this earthly life, is to go back home to God. And what's so interesting about this is, in all truth, man, if I were to have filmed either of those 2 episodes that I tried to earlier, I mean, one of them was, man, I have this idea of this episode titled, "I Know You Love Me," where if we film it, we do, but just that's a beautiful discussion. And then another one titled chipping, something about chipping bones, chipping away at bones, getting out of chronic patterning and scar tissue, and then relating it to the gospel of Jesus Christ and chipping away at things we don't need in our lives, and anyway, these 2 episodes, I tried to film each of them just now. I mean, within the past, 4 hours from now, give or take. Yeah. And I want to grab the capo. My guitar is here. Little Red is what I call this guitar. The capo is just sitting on the ground there. I tried to grab it. Now I feel like I need something to fidget with, because I think this is the point, is I just need to keep giving context on my mom right now. Meaning in this time, while she's in the situation she is. But if I weren't to have tried to film those 2 episodes and have them not work out, but then still feel so prompted by God, like I'm saying, I guess I just really need to say this. In this, though, because if I didn't try to keep filming and then get to this episode titled, "I'm in this for life," then there wouldn't be the context of me being in this for life, the way that I'm discussing it in this one, the way that I am, with my mother's hospital experience and then being transferred to this recovery center last night, at this exact time in this way, and then me and how I'm reacting to it, if you will, really responding to it, really just accepting it. My mom's death, if that's really what's happening. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be in the same, video or audio only as well form, right, of In the Image Clothing Company podcast, as the context of me being the founder of In the Image Clothing Company in this for life. You see what I mean? But it's like I couldn't stop trying to film an episode right now of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. And so here this is now, and here we are, as of right now, an hour 47 minutes and 17, 18, 19, 20 seconds, right? 1 hour, 47 minutes, 24 seconds into this. And I stopped about 5 minutes ago, give or take. I just got hit in my tracks, or stopped in my tracks, just like I hit a wall. I guess I just have to keep saying what God needs me to say right now about my mom. I don't think she's going to make it through the recovery of the surgery. It's a big surgery. She already had underlying health condition stuff, multiple different things going on. A lot of stuff she's been dealing with for a long time, There's diabetes. She's been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. If she was hearing me say these things, she'd be like, "Don't talk about me on your podcast." It's like, nah, this is just life. I'm just a human being expressing what's going on, man. And I was with her last night, well, not only that, I mean, she's got stuff going on with her. That's what I'm saying, quite a few different health things happening. I don't know. I guess I won't say all that much unless I do. I'm just praying through this. Yeah. I don't think my mom's going to make it, man. I saw her today, this morning, after I slept there last night with her in that care center, Yeah. I don't think she's going to make it through the recovery. I'm moving to St. George. I'm the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. I mean, that's been apparent for, like I'm saying, about the past 14 and a half months, for those that just know what I've been doing with this. But now, where we're at with it, yeah, it's time to start, we'll start having team members, we'll start having products, we'll start breeding poodles, we'll have our building when we get to that point. It's, yeah, I don't know when, I don't know, it's not my timing, but I'll move down to St. George, Utah, man, and that's what I mean, is I'm in this for life. This isn't, what it is, I'll say that, is interesting, because, yeah, my mom, she's playing a role in this by laying in a hospital bed up until last night, and then now she's at this recovery center place. She's playing a big role in this by just, time period and just the fact that she's my mother. Yeah, it's cool. And, I mean, it is what it is. It's weird, is what it is. That it is what it is. That I have to say this. I mean, this is my third try. And my third titling of what the episode was titled and about today, of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. I'm not trying to just do something to be putting out more content. That's why I referenced it, right? Context over content. That's the point. That's the focus, is just doing things that are real for the sake of them being real. Not about the quantity, even though we do a lot. And there is a lot of quantity of things we do under In the Image Clothing Company, because it's great to be able to be involved. It's great to document. It's great. It's just great. It's just so good. Anyway, yeah, I mean, this is what I'm doing, and this is how I'm going to support my family. This is how I'm going to do. This is my life. That's why I'm saying, and I kind of got caught up on it a little bit when I said this is kind of a rerun of a lot of the things that we've said, but it's really not. In ways, no, it really isn't. It isn't. It's not, and it's so I can't even. It's like it's not a rerun. The words won't come out of my mouth to try to over-explain something. That's how it was happening. These other two I tried to film. I got verbally, physically stopped. And you saw it happen here. I'm keeping this one. This is the one that is episode 185. So intentional, and not by me. My grandparents live upstairs, and that's the thing, is I think I'm just going to continue to live with my grandparents for at least, some time. My mom's been living here, and I'm almost certain she's just about done with her earthly life. Very, 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 very close, like within either hours or days. Okay, I don't know. I guess, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's all. I don't know what else I need to say in this, God. I mean, this is me literally praying through this. Like, what do I say? More than this, I mean, I'm only making this episode if it needs to be made. But I mean, that's the point, I speak so bold all the time, and oh my dear God. And I do it for the sake of God. Yeah, words can't come out of my mouth that are incorrect, and I can't even explain that to people that don't understand. Right now, in this instance, is what I mean. Like, yeah, sometimes I'm just, I literally cannot speak words I don't need to be speaking right now. Okay, God, I mean, He's the God of all. I've been saying it and saying it and saying it. Probably 4 or 5 plus episodes of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. And it's just the ones right before this one, right? So it would be the 180s for sure, up until this one here, 185. And then if any, maybe that, yeah. See, the words can't come out. They don't. My mom's going to die. I'm not prophesying, but I'm saying it. Very, very, very soon. Like hours or days from now. Don't believe anything I say. If I'm saying this, God, I'm sorry. Because I said this, and that's the truth, I guess. Don't take it's not me. I don't care. Not that I don't care that my mom dies, but I'm actually grateful for her sake. That's what I mean. Entirely content with it. Truly, I am entirely content with my mom. And her journey here that God has chosen for her. It's not my decision. It's just weird that that's what I need to be saying right now on In the Image Clothing Company podcast. All right. But this is how I will support my family, is through In the Image Clothing Company. And that's why I've made it as clear as I have. It couldn't possibly be just a startup company. It could never be invalid. There's not a single human, no matter how deformed from the universal human design your body is, or altered from whatever it is. Everyone and their dogs, truly, and even just all animals, to the degree that our information applies to all of the animals on the earth. This is what I mean. These things are universal. They're eternal. This is truth. This is In the Image Clothing Company. It's not really our information. We discuss God, and I know him. And that's how I'm entirely content with my mom's passing. And I'm not in charge of that. That's why it's so crazy. I feel so out of place trying to, claim that I know what's going to happen, because I'm not trying to claim anything. But God gives us what he gives us, and I make my prayers like, God, please don't let me do anything I'm not supposed to. Like, turn me around if I'm going the wrong direction. I make it silly through rhythm and poetry, like topsy-turvy, stop me and turn me around, And even this, I want to make it so lighthearted. I don't want to make it anything. That's what I mean. I just want to show how truly content I am if my mother passes within hours from now or days from now, anytime. I can't not film this and discuss my mother like this. Because I've tried it 2 times right before this one. And then even in this, you're hearing me like trying to not say this. And I have to. God is perfect. He uses me because I ask him to. Because he is literally perfect. That's why I ask him to, is what I mean. You can't go wrong if God's got the reins. You literally could not. It's impossible. Scary word to some. The truth to those that know it. Impossible. Things are out of our hands. So I am in this for life. It will be St. George, Utah. We'll span Utah. We'll go to Arizona and Nevada where we do, because St. George, Utah is so close to the border of those states. We'll go wherever we go and do all that we do through all the events we have, poodle parades, and just all the events where we discuss the anatomy of the human body, involving people where we do. It's all centered around God. And I am in this for life. We'll have beautiful clothing, beautiful dog products, staying centered, fitting correct, and being made in all the ways that we can from 100% natural materials for the human being clothing, and having the same intent behind the dog products. Collars, leashes, harnesses, whatever we get into. I've talked about hydration, and I don't even know how that would actually come about. In the Image Clothing Company hydration. I've talked about dog food brands, and we'll work with so many awesome people. We are a community here. We do things for the environment, clean the creek, and rid the rubbish. Subcategories of poodle parade events. A lot of these things, I'm here for the health of the earth, for the health of our spirituality, and you don't have to even be spiritual, but you're spiritual. Everything happens in the spirit before it happens in the physical. It's just the truth. I'm here for a lot of big things, I'm here for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and to show people what it truly is, because I've had my battle with it. So what's up, y'all? That's how I start the videos, My name is Evan Strong, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. I am in this for life. I want to make it so just exactly what it needs to be. So that's what I do, is do all that I can to pray through everything that I do. Yeah, we've got a lot of series, man. The importance of series under the main side of In the Image Clothing Company. Well, there's videos. Oh man, there's a lot of videos. Oh shoot. Man. A lot of it's just putting the importance on what we need to in life. Because we're either intentional or we're not. And if we're not intentional about things, the things are still there. Like I say, you don't have to care about clothing. It's still affecting your body if it's placed on you imbalanced. Same with the dogs. Big time. Dog collars, man. Especially. Anyway, there's a lot going on in life, and you don't have to care. It still happens, and it still affects you. I think we're going to... Man. Music. I haven't said it here, I guess, all that much. In the Image Clothing Company music, one other fourth to mention in this, a little bit more than I have kind of brushed over so far. Because that's the thing, man. We do so much. I'm literally a rapper. Rhythm and poetry is what rap is an acronym for. I sing, I play guitar, I show sizing and setup of guitar as the founder of In The Image Clothing Company, but that's just what we do as the team under In The Image. God, I mean, I can't take myself out of it all that much. I am the one leading this for life. That's the point of the episode title, you know. It is, I mean, yeah. Sizing and setup of guitar gets shown to not alter the body. That's what led me to here. A lot of it is just guitar, sizing and setups. Oh, man. There's so much that we do. And I don't care to try to hype anything up. That's what I mean. I don't even care to talk about my mom's death. If she just died and I had never mentioned it publicly under the company that I have founded and that I am in for life, right? I wouldn't even probably mention it. That's what I'm saying. So I don't care to say anything I don't need to be saying. I care to serve God. I care, man. I care a lot too, though, you know. Sometimes I might just sound like a mean person, but no, it's because I care so much. I get so passionate. It's passion. I'm not mad. Sometimes I get mad where I do, sure. Sometimes I just like blow up. Definitely. Totally. Yes. It's because of how passionate I am about things, though. It makes me angry when things are done wrong. It makes me angry when people get mistreated. It makes me angry when the environment just, you know, goes downhill, if you will, because people don't take care of the planet God gave us. It makes me angry when people are preaching false information and doing things just for gain. You know, it makes me angry when I hide from who I really am and I'm not fully authentically me because that's what God wants. So yeah, sometimes I get really angry, you know. I'm not trying to like pretend that I'm only passionate and I never get mad when I'm yelling so often. Sometimes I'm just flat out mad, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I just want to make it clear on who I am, you know. I really do like to be left alone. I do, that's what I was saying. I'm not different behind the camera than I am in person, but there's so many sides to me. And whatever side is just coming out at the time is coming out at the time. And really, I love just quiet and peace as my grandparents upstairs slide something across the floor. I mean, they can do whatever they want in their house. I just for the sake of the timing, right after I say quiet and peace. Is that crazy or what? But I do. It's funny though, because at the same time, I love being very loud. I love people who are very expressive and bold and loud and not afraid to be authentic. It's the only thing you are. That's what authenticity means, is something just as it is. You know, the baseline of that thing is how it's authentically going to be. See what I mean? But that's the thing, is sometimes you might see me and it's like, is this guy just put on a show then behind the cameras? Because I tried to talk to him in person and he like didn't even say anything to me. There's just so many sides to me, man. I talk about the dynamic of a human being, and some people are even more dynamic just naturally than other people are, and I'm one of those people. I'm really smart. I'm really all over the place all the time. Okay. As well, and sometimes that's, you know, correlated. That's a lot of the time what happens. You know, there's so much going on in my being. I mean, there's just so much to me. Really, truly, there's so much to me, so many sides to me. I've had so many different lives in my 26 years as of today's date. You know, and today's not my birth date, but I just mean, you know, as of this video's documentation, I'm 26 years old, you know, here in 2025, the 4th of December. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, and even if I didn't feel like it, it's just the case, you know, the way you describe it, it's like I've lived 100 different lives or more. I mean, it's just so many different lives, lifestyles, and experiences, so many different jobs, so many different friend groups, and so many different phases. I've done so many different things and learned so many things throughout my life. I've had so many experiences. I've been through so much rough stuff. You know, I mean, there's a lot to me, man. And so, yeah, I mean, if I seem standoffish, if you meet me, because that's the thing, is I'm so public with what I do, which I love, because growing up I had a you know, a situation with my family situation that was not good, as a lot of us do. Very, you know, broken home, not a good father figure, and no fingers being pointed there. It's just the case, truly. And, I just have to say that it's the case. I mean, it just is what it is. You look at it as it was and as it still is, and it is what it is. I used to be just so silenced, and I used to try to be something to please, the people I felt that I needed to please in life. I just don't want to point fingers because that's not what I'm doing. But it was rough, it was rough. It was rough. 3 times I said it. It was rough. It was so hard. And that's what's made me who I am today, I mean, there's a level of just saying what you're good at and your strengths that has nothing to do with what could even possibly be bragging or boasting. And I'm a really mature person. I do really silly and, random things often. But, I'm really experienced in life. I really do speak a lot of wisdom, and it's just the case. I've got, context. Again, the word context. I've got context to back it. I'm giving more context here. That's the thing. I've got a lot of wisdom. I've got a lot of experience with Jesus Christ, personally. And, sometimes I don't want to talk. Sometimes I don't even want to be looked at. And sometimes I'm just, hosting things like Poodle Parade events. Do you see what I mean? There's sides to me. There's a dynamic to a human being. So that's the thing, is just remember, I'm not in this for the recognition by any means. Usually, I love, not even just usually I like, but usually I love to be left alone. There's an episode title of In the Image Clothing Company podcast titled Alone, Not Lonely. And there's times and places on both ends of everything, the opposition that is in all things. But yeah, I like to be just able to be me without having to even have a conversation if somebody tries to have one with me, and I'm like, just not even like acknowledging you. Don't think I'm being mean to you, but I'm my own human being. No matter how public I get with this or how, well, it's public, that's the point. But like how known we get, especially like in Utah, right? I mean, we're going to be really big as in the Image Clothing Company. And I just don't care to have conversations a lot of times, so please don't take it personal. Right? Getting offended is our choice to do. If you come up to me ever, please don't. I mean, that's so weird to say too, because it's great to do so much good for people. Give really not just casually life-changing information, but like deeply full-on life-changing information is what we do. It's not about us. We're just giving the information under In the Image Clothing Company. You know what you know about us if you do. I mean, it's what it is. And so it's cool to, do that, but I don't need anybody coming up to me ever. Ever, man. I mean, sometimes that's why it's weird. It's like sometimes we'll love it. Sometimes we'll schedule events just to like meet up with the people who know what we do and appreciate what we do. That's why it's hard, being a human being, and that's why the glory is always to God. It's not like, yeah, love us, as in the Image Clothing Company. I'm Evan Strong, the founder. It's so terrible. It's so ridiculous. That kind of approach, it's not about us. It couldn't be. And that's how we're different, is God's name essentially is stamped in our company's 5-word name. The first 3, in the image. That's in the image of Jesus Christ, our design as the human being. And so that's why it's so cool, man. Anyway, please don't make it about me. Please leave me alone. But, we'll do things where we will intentionally schedule events so that you can come hang out with us. So just, see the fact that I'm no better than you, no bigger than you, even if our company has more awareness than you or your company or whatever. Do you see what I mean? Just we look at people like that, where they have a broader spread or more followers, and we think that they're a better person than us. No, not the truth. We're equal human beings, sons and daughters of God. But, we're going to be in a situation where a lot of people will know who I am. Oh, man, that's crazy to say, A lot of people are going to know me, though. Evan Strong. I mean, I just, it's so silly. It's like I'm a celebrity, as I'm sitting on the floor. That's what I mean, is I want to just explain that I know how this could sound on whatever end, and that's what, The time will tell, the extent of why I need to be saying these things and why I have since the founding, said so many times, like, leave me alone. Because no matter what you consider like a celebrity, really, if we're just saying somebody who's well known, man, I mean, strange, that is what it is. Yeah. There's a lot of people doing amazing things out there that a lot of people know about. They know the person. That's what I'm saying. Just it's so weird. It's such a thing. It's the whole thing about like be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. That's a song by Marshall Mathers, Eminem. But this is for God's glory. That's what I mean. Is it's different than another celebrity, a singer, a rapper, somebody with a clothing company for fashion, these kind of things, people who breed dogs for the sake of the money and they just want, more dogs, more dogs, more dogs, breed, 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 no, I mean, we do things really properly here, and we've got God backing us. That's the only way you can really do anything properly. And not only the only way you can really do anything properly, but just blatantly, bluntly, boldly, flat out said, that's the only way you can do anything property, because it's God's. There's that word, property. We don't own anything. It's God's. We can't own this information. It's God's. That's what I'm saying is we're going to be very well known, however like broad of a knowing of us that is, as we will, in certainly, yeah, in a big way. In the Image Clothing Company's team, me, Evan Strong, the founder, is who I am, and my family, our dogs as well. That's the thing, man, is I'm just aware. I know, and I knew since the beginning of where this was going, because when you know what you're really doing, yeah, anyway, yeah, I know. That's like my answer to God, like, okay, fine, I get it, I will, because it's your will that I'm wanting over anything else, even if that takes me to places that I don't know how I could possibly do. The fact is, I can't do anything on my own, and that's why we do this. It's to give the glory to God. That's why we've laid the foundation the way that we have. Again, it's a we. I was saying that in the last episode of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. Last night is, well, I guess that would have been 2 nights ago. Anyway, whatever it was, I think it was the last number, which would have been 184. Yeah, I was saying, I word things as we. I never feel alone in anything. It's, oh my gosh. Anyway, I am in this for life, though, and that's cool, man. Growing up, thinking like, man, how am I going to work for somebody? I've worked for a lot of people. I'm a good employee. I'm a really hardworking person. Again, I mean, there's context of just what I've done as the only person, as of me saying this right now, today's date, that has done anything human being wise. It's God working through me, but, for In the Image Clothing Company, it's just been me. Since the very first anything ever that could have possibly been titled In the Image Clothing Company under what this is. Yeah, I'm a hard worker, man. And I just never thought, I would ever be able to possibly find somebody's company or business or someone in any way that I could work for my lifetime like people do. And we just take different paths. That's what I mean. I'm just such a different person. I'm so unique. I'm so weird. I'm so out there. I'm so misunderstood by so many people, and that's entirely fine. That's why, just please leave me alone. You think that I'm like against you or something because I don't like respond to you in whatever way. Well, I mean, any situation could come up, and I'm just going to react how I'm going to react. I'm going to respond how I'm going to respond. I'm going to just be me, so just know, like, don't expect me to be anything. There's so many videos of me just behind a camera, like, that's great because I know how to deliver this information, but like, I'm only here to do this how God needs me to do it. I mean, only the amount of focus that needs to be put on me will be. even if there's a lot of camera video focused on me. See what I mean? We got to see this as it is. Like, yikes, man. It'll be so fun, though, because, yeah, it will be great to have events. And that's why I just say it so clear. Don't come for me. Don't come because you think I'm someone you want to just sit there and talk to at events. No. No. I mean, that's like idolization in whatever form and degree, anytime, ever. I mean, you have a cute girl down the street that you just idolize, or for the men out there, or whatever. I'm just saying, like, whoever it is in life, even the celebrities, the singers, even just that's what I mean by like the person next door. You've got a next door neighbor, and you think they're cooler than you, and you go see all the things he does all the time, and you're idolizing him. This is what happens with situations like this when people get such a broad impact and spread with what they do, and what they do is so impactful. I mean, it's just the case. That's what I'm saying. It's nothing to do with me, but In the Image Clothing Company is, I mean, beyond words type of impactful for everyone. But don't let it ever be about me, please. That's the whole thing. It's so strange to even say stuff like this. I mean, just I already experienced this in my life. Just about nobody, as of today's date, really at all, truly, just about no one knows that I'm the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. They will, because because I am the founder of In the Image Clothing Company, and it's going to be just so absolutely huge. I mean, it just will. Yeah. Don't think I'm claiming anything. Just wait. Things take time. Good things take time. Yeah, you just will be. But yeah, I mean, just in my life already, just people who want to be around me more than I want people to be around me, no matter who it is, even if I love the person. That's the point you got to see, is I could love you so much, and I just want you to get away from me. Like, you just got to see it as it is, right? That's what I mean. Oh man, even in like my best mood, it's not like it's only in times when like I'm not in the mood that I feel like I want to have people around me, even if I'm like feeling amazing. So that's what I'm saying, is so often I just love to be alone, truly. You know. Yeah, and yes, so please hear that correct, right? And please respect that. That's what I mean, just for everyone, the team. Oh my gosh, I mean, this is what I'm saying, is it's just so weird to be in a situation like this. It's so weird that we do this. I've done this to people in my life, just, man, it's just hard to, it's hard to know who God is because he's perfect, and we're just not. Man, talk about humbling though, because I am in this for life, Yeah. Anyway. And that's the thing is yeah, I just feel like my mom's real close. Yeah. I just feel like she's so, yeah, I mean, context, right? Yeah. I feel like my mom could die within any kind of like minutes or hours. And what that'll do is just kind of change a few things in my life, obviously, I guess, right? I mean, it's probably fairly obvious. Probably really obvious. It's my mother, Even if you don't really know my situation, just, your mother dies, and it's the one who gave birth to you, the one that breastfed you and raised you, and, in all the ways that she was allowed to through the dynamic of my parents' divorce when I was 7, right? Context, again, it is what it is, and that's the thing, my life would change a lot. It'd be kind of a jump start, after laying the foundation. And that's the thing, is God's perfect with his timing too, No question or dispute, possibly, as of me saying this right now, on the 4th of December 2025, of what really, yeah, of the truth of In the Image Clothing Company. And that timing, is crazy. With my mom's death. But that's the thing, is I'm only saying these things because I'm prompted by God too. But I'm saying them. Certainly. I love it. I love nature. I love the earth. I mean, that's the thing is, if you love God, God is all of his creations. He created the earth. And I'm deepening my relationship with God daily in all the ways that I can, you know. That's my, I mean, that's what I'm doing. That's it. I mean, it is. Yeah. So much for the environment, you know, and just being natural. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and you'll see what that means too, you know, if that sounds like something to you, you know, it's like, no, yeah, it is what it is. Bro. Ah, shoot. Hmm. My mom, man, she's been my biggest supporter. Just so weird because she hasn't really been in my life all that much. Not her choices, that's what I mean, you know, through the legal system and what happened with my dad through my parents getting divorced when I was 7. Yeah, I didn't spend all that much time with my mom until I was 22 years old. You know, it's just weird. That face I made, like, man, yeah, that was weird as well. It's cool though. So cool to be so content with something like this. Yeah. So that's the thing is, how are you gonna raise your kids? You know, my mom, yeah, she did all she could, you know, to raise me really well. In all the ways that she even had like the opportunity to raise me, you know, because some of that was out of her hands. Just even the time she was able to spend with me, you know, shoot, that's crazy, yeah. Just the amount she was able to even communicate with me for you know, legal reasons, and it wasn't her fault. Yeah, just, you know, that happens. A lot of people have very similar experiences. I know, I've heard stories, and just also statistically, that's just the case, yeah. You know, broken families. And so, you know, I mean, naturally, if you are a fairly good person, what that usually does is you know, it causes you to want even more than maybe like a person with a pretty, what we could call, right? I understand that there's no really regular or normal family situation, but what you could call more, you know, regular in the ways that we can understand that. You know, even more than those situations, people that have come from broken families, a lot of times it's a very natural pull, if you will, that we feel like drawn to, wanting almost like, you know, an excessively excessively, wow, there you go, I'll say it like that, excessively good family situation. I'm gonna leave that wording like that because, yeah, that's kind of how it feels, like do all we can to do all we can kind of thing, you know. Some real love in the household when I didn't really, you know, didn't really have it growing up. So that's cool, man. My mom, she did all she could. I recognize that. I realize that. I treated her terrible. I have. I mean, even recently, especially recently. Uh, yeah. And she's my mom. She put up with me, you know. I'm still just that little kid that throws tantrums. That's what I'm saying. You know, last night I was just kind of throwing a tantrum with her and my sister there at the, yeah, you know, where she's at now, at the little recovery place. It's a nice place, you know. She's in more homey than a hospital room, that's for sure. So yeah, I mean, that's the point, right? It's just the context. Because yeah, I mean, being the founder of In the Image Clothing Company isn't just me like talking to all the followers of this company that I've built. It's like, by the way, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be a father one day, and, you know, a husband, and, you know, really the way that we view our dogs, as much as I'm going to be a father to the children that I have, in whatever way that ends up being, because it's not my plan and it hasn't happened yet on exactly how that will look. I'd love to have children, but right, we'll see what happens with that, how it looks exactly as time progresses. if time progresses, who knows how long I even live? That's what I mean. I'm the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. I'm in this for life is the title here for the sake of just, saying what I'm saying in this. The context. I love the word context. But yeah, I also love the word of God. Read the word of God. It's the only way to be set free from any and all bondage. And it will. The truth will set you free. There's noise from upstairs in this house right now, right? Anyway. Yeah, as much as I'll be a father to whatever actual children I have as I go throughout this life, and whatever we could call children, because that's the thing, we're just one big family anyway. The human family. Yeah, no matter where you're from or whatever, Let's make it that like casual. Throw racial slurs around because we're all human beings. Seriously, because just to show how silly it is to segregate. I mean, oh shoot, I love that. This is what I mean, the dynamic of a human being. I'm still just as much like rooted as I am at any other time. Except when I'm like not. Who cares? That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm just, we our dogs are just as much as our children as our children are to us. Yeah, so context. I'm in this for life. I'm not only having a company here for all that we can do through it, it's also my income. The products we sell, the events that are paid, right? Which ones are and which ones aren't, and how that's structured again as they happen, and all that we get into, and the affiliations with people, and the working with all that we do, because we'll do all that we do, and that's gonna be a lot of cool. It's gonna be so awesome what we get to do through this. But in addition to that, yeah, I mean, I'm Evan Strong, the father of the children that I do or don't have. And that's cool even on the end of not if. Because there's a lot of people that we're father figures for. I'm the father of the poodles that I own when I do, I'm the husband and man, doing all that I can at whatever time to be the best husband I can to whoever my wife ends up being, And that's the thing is I am going to be just Evan Strong. But In the Image Clothing Company is such a public thing. And that's great. It is for a reason. That's how it's what it is. That's awesome. It's a gift to be able to have it be what it is. We couldn't have even done this. That's something I say so often with a lot of things, but truly, just decades ago from today's date. I mean, yeah, so cool. The gift of video, man, especially, is just so awesome. The internet can be, hear that correct, but yeah, it's such a great tool, Just, whatever that means going forth. Who knows what technology changes to be? Who knows how the world is structured and how quickly it changes, because it changes. But that's the point, is through all this and being in this for life, right? Evan Strong, as the founder of In the Image Clothing Company, first and foremost, before myself, before my wife, before my kids or my dogs, before the Image Clothing Company, before all of it and anything that could ever come, I'm a son of God. I'm a disciple and a follower of Jesus Christ. God, the Creator. So this is what I mean when I say this is not a rerun of past episodes of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. This is me being very, very clear on certain things that I'm being very, very clear on. So please leave me alone. Please respect me as a human being. Understand that I'm just the same as you, regardless of what it could seem, or who's telling you what, or what you think you see, or whatever, or the difference in the amount of this or that, between me versus you, and who's on which end of that, the high or the low, or whatever. I mean, do you see what I mean? Yeah, I'm in this for life. As the same kid that I was in this for life as the second I was born. I'm just me. And so, sometimes I'm throwing tantrums, and as a full-grown adult, your tantrums look a lot different than like a 3-year-old. It is what it is. Hold me to it. Condemn me for what I have said. Like I say, I mean, I've done what I've done. I can't take it back. I can't change it. Neither can you. So you're just only judging if you address things that you wish were different. It's not your choice. It's not mine either. I'm not going to go back. It's just impossible. There's that word again. I'm just me, man. So sometimes I'm a mean man. Really? Yeah, sure. Sometimes I'm just flat out terrible. Cussing and screaming, and all of a sudden maybe I'm acting in ways that people are like, oh, he changed so much. He pretended to be such a kind person who wanted to help, but actually he's this terrible, evil guy. I am a terrible, evil guy. Are you kidding me? I'm not kidding you. We're sinful human beings. And sometimes, yeah, like, to the extreme. Speaking for myself, totally. I mean, sure, the goal is to get closer to God as time progresses, but, I mean, I am who I am, you know? I'm in this for life. It's kind of like a marriage, you know, for better or worse type of explanation. It's like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I mean, you might think something changed or I changed or whatever. All of a sudden I start saying things you didn't know I did, or sins that I've done that you didn't know happened. You know, it's kind of like, that's what I mean. It's kind of like a marriage. Yeah, dude, I mean, you know, it's up to you. Leave if you got to leave, but if you got a problem with us, don't leave. That's the whole thing, you know. Oh man, yeah. See, it's weird. Just kind of dive deeper. Ah, shoot. Anyway, I feel like my mom's gonna die. I'm just saying it just like that. I've got a Christmas party with my family 2 days from now here at this house that I've, been living at. I'm moving down to St. George, man. I am. Not because it's my dream to. I'm gonna love it, but because of, you know, God. That's why I'm moving down there. So, anyway, yeah, we'll have a Christmas party here. My mom's probably not gonna be here. Whether she's still here on this earth at that time or not, if she is the point of saying that like that. I don't think she's gonna be coming to the house here for the party. You know, just recovering from getting her body cut into. I've experienced it. Like I'm saying, I've had 2 full open heart surgeries, different periods of my life. I was, young for the first one, like really young. Like under 1 year old. I'm pretty sure I was like just about 2 months old is all. And I was 7 years old for the second one. But yeah, man, that's a big thing. I mean, that's one of, or the, if, right, most major surgeries you can have. I mean, yeah, it's just about the most major surgery you can do. They cut your entire sternum. We talk about that as being one of the center things in the center line of the body. From here, right at the base of your throat, where your collarbones are, all the way down the center middle bone of your chest, your rib cage, down to the very bottom rib there in the front of the body. They cut that entirely in half, vertical, and they just, can then open your ribs up and have just an open chest. That's why they call it open heart surgery. They can go in there and they can operate on your heart. They can just access your heart. That's a big surgery. And with all her underlying health things, she's got a lot going on. Things already with her heart, things with her breathing, the other things I mentioned earlier, and whatever else she does have, that I know about or don't. I mean, she's dealt with a lot, man. My mom, she's a fighter for sure, man. That's ridiculous. She's been through a lot. Well, it's crazy, all that I've been through because of family dynamics. My mom went through as well, and in a worse type of dynamic, being in the role she was in, with it. Yeah, it's been rough for her this life. That's what I mean. It's when she does go, and I really do think, I mean, maybe hours, maybe days from me saying it right now, the 4th of December, 2025, it'll be a release for her. It'll be like crossing the finish line. I mean, that's what it is. We endure to the end as disciples of Jesus Christ. That's the whole point of life, is like, it's not about getting first place. It's about staying in the race for the long haul. I say it so often, I'm playing the long game. It's an episode title of In the Image Clothing Company podcast, The Long Game. I talk about last place all the time. Listen to my voice. I don't know. Here we go. I talk about being in last place all the time, right? The last shall be first. The first shall be last. God's course is one eternal round. I mean, we're just here to serve God. We're not here to try to climb the ladders in life. The Son of Man, or the Son of God, Jesus Christ, God himself, came to be He came to minister to people. He didn't come to be ministered unto. The word minister is like the word serve. God, Jesus Christ, came to the earth to serve people, to heal people. He didn't come to be served because he's the King of Kings. He's God of all. And he's walking amongst us. I mean, I wasn't there, born yet. But right, Christmas. I mean, we've got just, what is it? Just a few days, 21 days till Christmas as of today's date. As far as I know, it's 21 days from now. Anyway, just meaning it was 2,025 years ago. Jesus Christ got born here onto the earth, and he did so to minister to people. God came to serve his children. That's the thing. Man, my mom, dude, that's the thing. I've been so terrible to my mom, and I don't feel guilty about it. I've prayed to God. It's just, we've got the family dynamic we do, and it just is what it is. I'm just who I am, and I lash out. I lash out at whoever. And it's not cool to treat people bad, but I don't feel guilty for it either, And that can only happen through God. Anyway, I've treated my mom terrible in a lot of ways. I've also treated her so well in a lot of ways. That's the thing, is that's what I mean by, you just lash out where you do. People get mad where you do. Relationships with the same individuals are different, and sometimes than they are in others. Sometimes are really, really rough. Sometimes seem like it's like heaven in the relationship, It is what it is. There's the dynamic of a human being. That's what I'm saying. And I've been going through so much in the past few years. A lot of that's because I've had a safe enough place living here with my mom to be able to, and just the change that's happened in me, a lot of that's just because I've been able to be around my mom. Well, not just because, it's because of God, but that's what I mean, is God gave me this situation as the avenue and the way for me to be able to do what he's had me do in these past few years. So much change and growth has happened, and now here we have In The Image Clothing Company, and that's what I'm saying. I'm in this for life. And, my mom's played a huge role in this too, a lot of what I've learned with the anatomy of the body, it's been bouncing ideas off my mom, having conversations with her, doing things to help her in her personal life, with her sitting situations and her clothing situations, talking to her about eating, eating and drinking with the left hand or non-dominant, keeping the body centered. And she's been through so much physically, emotionally, in all the ways, man. She's been through a lot. And so we've helped each other in a lot of ways too while I've lived here with her these past 3 years. Wow, 3.5, right? It's like I was saying the other night on one of these episodes of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. Maybe it's been more like 3.5 years at this point that I've been living with my mom. But yeah, she's helped me so much. She's just done more for me than anyone else really. I don't know about ever could, because my wife one day maybe, but a mother's love is just different, There's nothing like it. Yeah, there's not, what a mother's able to go through, that's the thing, if I treated anybody else in my life the way that I've treated my mom at times when I've just been so truly out of line, but at the same time, it just happens in families. That's what I'm saying. Outside of a family, no one's going to put up with the ways that people treat each other inside of a family. But family love and family dynamics are just so different than any kind of like friendship or other kind of like relational thing in life. My mom's just put up with so much, with what she dealt with in her marriage, which was more than, people can Yeah, I mean, more than, it's just, it was ridiculous, more than, there's a lot, more than more. I mean, that's how I'm going to word that. It was terrible what she had to deal with. Holy heavens. No, no, yeah, no holding back with that. But then, even me treating her bad, just her dealing with all her health stuff. Who doesn't treat their mom bad in times? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Moms just put up with a whole different kind of level of disrespect than anybody else even possibly could in life. That's what I mean. She played the role, man. A mother. There's no perfect mother out there. Well, Mother Mary, I guess. When I say I guess, I just mean, I'm not trying to just make some kind of like bold, there's no perfect this or there is a perfect that or whatever. But I mean, yeah, I mean, God's mom's, yeah. That's God's mom. Yeah, but what I am saying is, man, my mom, she's done a lot. So it's just kind of a lot to see her last night. I just feel like it's this kind of like, see you later. So there you go, bro. Anyway, yeah. It's good. I'm content. Grateful for these past few years here with her, for sure. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, my mom, she spoiled me beyond, anything I could explain. My mom spoiled me, man. I mean, even recently, lately, my mom's been buying my food and she's let me live here with her in such tight quarters. I mean, that's just hard in general. And then I'm a prideful person. I can be hard to be around anyway. You know, she's let me use her car and her money. I mean, I'm not just like buying things with her money, but for things like gas money for the car and food. And she's bought me so many things. She bought me these Ridgeway boots by Zero Shoes, and my Denver canvas black boots by Zero Shoes, and my Denver leather boots by Zero Shoes. That's just some of the things she's bought me. That's what I'm saying. She'll offer, even when she doesn't have enough for herself. Man, my mom, she was kind of forced to be in situations and times where she just, yeah, man. She's got a big heart. Definitely. And it's hard though too, because I always felt abandoned when my mom, had to leave us as kids legally, because of the divorce. And so then I, a lot of times acted out against my mom because it was so hard. I idolized her. And then I realized she wasn't perfect. And then that's like a hard wake-up call. And so then I kind of treated her terrible because of it, because I had a false sense of her being this perfect woman. And when I realized, just the truth that, she's just like all of the other imperfect human beings, right? We're all just imperfect. But as a little kid, you kind of, well, you don't know much in life as a little kid. And a lot of times, like I did, children idolize one of their parents or both of their parents. My mom was like my hero. Oh, shoot. That's ridiculous. And I was scream at her, in the past like year. Just like this, like, Mom, I idolized you, Mom. Why, like, because I always just thought she was perfect. It was a hard wake-up call for me, She's not perfect. That's the thing, I just had to I actually had a false, skewed view on a lot of things, like just women in general in life, because my mom was like everything to me, you know. Felt like I had nothing as a kid, man. And then my mom got stripped from me too, Crazy. No kind of guilt on either end. I mean, that's the thing. We've got this like mother and son love, Holy shoot, man. I mean, I've done a lot for my mom too, that's what I mean. It's been crazy, man. That's just how it is. It's families. It's the whole thing about the family. God putting so much focus on the family. Like, man. That's the thing, That's why, like I say, I'm a really feminine man in a lot of ways. I've got a lot of feminine energy because, my mom was always the focus. She's a woman. Yeah. I mean, as crazy as it is, I am who I am because of my mom. And she wasn't even in my life all that much growing up, But she did so much for me, even when she couldn't physically be there to do it legally, Even when she couldn't physically do it because, she just hasn't been all that able to move for the past about 15 years. I mean, really. Oh, man. She's still done so much for me. It's crazy. I mean, so selfless. And I treat her bad because of it, because I knew I didn't deserve it. And so it made me mad, and I lash out at her because she's doing good things for me. See what I mean? That made me upset because same reason we get mad at God. He gives us good things, and we're like, I don't want that because that's exactly what I want. It's crazy, man. Oh, shoot. I always just wanted my mom, Just that typical little boy just crying for his mom, That's nuts. That's nuts, man. That's crazy. I had her for these past 3.5 years. It's just been such a gift. It's been amazing. It really has. Oh, yeah. God works, man. It never stops working. He never stops working. He'll give you all your lost time back and double it, too. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway. There's your context. I'm just a little boy. I'm still just that little boy crying out for his mom, Even at 95 years old or whatever I live to, I'm just a little boy, so. I got this cool gift, though, from God. It's titled In the Image Clothing Company. It'll be fun. And not just fun, but let's make it fun. As well as all the things we do, let's just make it fun. Please. Oh, shoot. Even when I'm screaming about things, there's just sides to me, so. As you can tell now, right? If you didn't have context before, you do now. Really, if you didn't see it before, because you can see this before now, before today's date. I mean, like I say, I'm a feminine man. Just what it means to, just the feminine traits of human beings. Like, yeah, a mama's boy. And she knows it too. That's the cool thing, Even when I'm screaming at her or whatever, she knows how much I love her, man. She knows. That's so crazy. It's a mother kind of thing, man. Shoot. That's why I talk about Nita, just all the poodles to follow after her. How I love them more when they're a mother. I mean, no one can play the role that a mother can play like that. No one can love someone the way that a mother does. Except for God. It's just crazy. I mean, yeah, God loves me more than my mom does, certainly. Shoot. Man. God loves me more perfect than my mom does too. Because my mom couldn't love me perfect no matter how much she tried to, you know. That's the thing, that's the point, that's the focus. That's how we can be content, because God is there. No matter what you believe. It's a challenge. Like I've said, it's a challenge to not believe in God and see what happens. He's still there. I mean, it's crazy, man. Oh, shoot. It's so cool because I'm just so content. But just the beauty of being able to experience the dynamic it's ridiculous. Ah, man. Even at our worst, God is his best. God's strength shines forth in our weakness. It's good to be weak. It gives glory to God. Ah, shoot. We live up Utah, man. It's so beautiful. My mom, that's what I'm saying. This is about my mom, so much about my mom as much as it's about whatever else it is in this. This is like it's like a salute, you know? To my mom, Deborah Strong. Man, it rhymes too. Check that out. I'm a lyricist, brother. It's truly for life too, you know. It is what it is. I scream too. I scream through it. I'm loud, bro. I am loud. Should have seen me at the hospital as a little baby, screaming, crying. You wonder why I'm loud? Well, that's because it's who God made me to be. I'm a fighter, bro. I'm not gonna fight you, though. I just, you know. As a lot of us are. I mean, everyone to the degree that they are, but anyway. Wow. I love nature. You know, my mom, she got me out into nature growing up. She decorated my room with, you know, wild animals, photographs, little figurines, and trees, just natural things. You know, she taught me a lot, man. My mom has taught me so much, regardless of how much smarter than I am, you know. See what I mean? It's just funny. I just, you know. That's awesome. It's cool, man. You teach each other things, you know. There's no teacher that's better than the student when it's from human being to human being. It's crazy. Humble yourself and be like a little child. It's the only way you'll enter the kingdom of heaven. It's God's words, you know, not mine. I didn't really get to be a kid when I was one. I'm more of a kid now than I was when I was young. I really am a lyricist. My mom loved words, man. I'm talking about it as if she's already dead. Out of contentment, it's just, man, you know, what it is. What it is the 4th of December, 2025. Man, my mom, dude, she'd make everything special even when I didn't want it to be. She'd go over the top when I told her not to do anything for me, you know. Sometimes it was actually, you know, kind of opposing what I genuinely desired because I'm so simple. But she just kind of couldn't bring herself to not do something for someone she loved, you know. some good context though, and I've said it where I have, but I'm just so simple and minimal. And yeah, it doesn't make me feel all that wonderful inside by any means when I see how wasteful we are as a society with resources and products and food, which is just a resource in itself, money. Oh man, time. Time's the big one. Our words, our energy. These are things we can't be wasting. We've only got a certain amount of it. All these things, man. I mean, time's the big one. I've wasted so much time in my life for different reasons. And a lot of that's not bad because you just kind of have to do certain things in certain ways to be able to get to the next point or step in your life, We just got our own individual journeys. God's in charge regardless of even if we think that he's not at times or we think we took the reins too much or whatever, There's no such thing as that with God. He knows the plan before it happens. He planned it. That's the whole thing about it. Where does the contentment come from, There's only one name. Jesus Christ. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, man. All these things will be added unto you. Everything else comes secondary, though, to just serving God. And there were a lot of times in my life where that's not what I was doing. How my life looked, it was a reflection of it. Yep. Yeah, my mom always made things like Easter and Christmas a big deal because they're a big deal. Even when my sister and I'm not trying to speak for anyone else, but just as it was, truly, we weren't all that excited about, celebrating Jesus Christ at times. My mom would just hold true to it, and that's crazy. That's the example you want to have. Oh shoot, that's the thing. That's the thing, man. That's how she did it. That's how she did things the way she did. She did. She knew him. She knew. Ah, shoot. I was claiming all sorts of things at times. I was so gone, man. Oh no. It is what it is, though. It's not even my fault. It strengthened us both. Ooh. Shoot. Oh, shoot. I mean, she showed me Book of Mormon videos and Bible videos as a kid, She'd take me to sacrament meeting. We'd sit there. She'd have little pop-up books, like primary books teaching Bible stories, Book of Mormon stories. I mean, this is the mom that I really had. I mean, this is actually my mom, That's crazy. I haven't seen her as that woman a lot of the time. As much as that's her fault, it's my fault, it's both of ours. We've both done so many things wrong, man. It's crazy. We talk about it, the past few years living together, it's been like we're a married couple more than anything else. Instead of instead of son, instead of mother and son, it was like we were husband and wife, and the dynamic of how we acted with each other, like, just, oh man, we both needed it too, man. He gave us something we hadn't really ever had before then. Holy cow. That's crazy. Because I'm saying this before I even know if she's gone or not yet, And that doesn't even matter when I say this. That's what I mean. It's just what it is, man. Oh, shoot. So this is the kind of person that's behind In the Image Clothing Company. So don't get your wires crossed, brother. Don't get it twisted is what I'm saying. Don't get confused thinking you know what's going on if you don't. No one really knows what's going on. Not down here. Not down at the feet of God. But that's where we get our insights, and we just get them line upon line and precept upon precept. And it gets shown, too. It's undeniable, too. You draw near to God, and he'll draw nearer to you. Oh, man. You'll see it. You'll see it in a way where I can't even make a claim. In the driest desert of St. George, Utah, God will send thee rain. Metaphorically, literally, whatever it means, whatever I need in the times that he needs me to have some things. It's not about me, but I serve a king. Not just the king of something, but the king of all things, the creator of all things. Jesus Christ is my king. There's so many times in my life where I would never have uttered those words. No way. Oh, shoot. But no matter if I wanted to or not, it is the same. It's God. Before I was, he is. Before Abraham was, I am, is what Jesus Christ says, and that's the truth. And he is the same, too, yesterday, today, and forever. No matter the weather, because we can't change it, and we can't change him, and we're deranged if we're in our brains with a lot of things that we think we can make Jesus Christ be, because he is only who he says that he. And boy, is he. And he is my king. Yesterday, today, and forever. When I'm under the weather or think I can change it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. Because I couldn't make anything different than just what it is. And God is. And I need to put people... I'm in this for life, man. I'm in this for life. There's the title. There it is. Here's the kid. Just as much a kid at any point. Still a kid in all ways. Still a kid in all ways, too. Throwing tantrums left and right. Just to keep it centered, Because I'm the founder of the Image Clothing Company. It is what it is, dude. So don't think you know if you're wrong. Because you're wrong if you're wrong, and so am I. There's only truth. The mountains are calling. How cliche of a thing, but how much does that resonate with me? Holy... Shoot. In the desert, too, man. I get it. My nose is dripping. I understand. There's no tissue right here, right now, so I'll just rely on God instead, because he is. Even when I feel like he's so distant. Because of something I've done. At any time that could be. It's not true. It's not true for me or you or anyone. God is just as eternal at any time as he is always. He's perfect. He's ever present. And that's the present. That's the real true gift of Christmas. What you got on your wish list? I wish that I could wish for less and just get what I get. He's crazy. Ah, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Shout out to my wife and my kids. Shout out to all the dogs that we get. Shout out to the life that I live. I'm in this for life. No matter what that looks like, too. I'm not in it for me or for you. I'm in it for God. And in turn, that'll be in it for me and for you. And this is the kind of thing that I do. Grab the mucus out of my nose with my own bare hands. Because I'm like a bear, man, so don't poke me. Just leave me alone, please. Shoot. What's the truth? The truth is the universe has a name. And he's the God of all the things. Every one of them. Everything, 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 and everything. 3 times plus 1 more, because sure, we added in the Image Clothing Company poodles after we had a Trinity kind of company. Because every one of their dogs deserves to know anything that could help them. And anything and everything is just summed up in one. One God. Jesus Christ, the Father and the Son. And his Spirit dwells within everything that lets it be. Shoot. So please, come along with me on this ride of In the Image Clothing Company, because I'm in it for life. As the founder, too. The one who's floundered, dude. Tripped up over his words, even though he's so great at the wordplay. God puts me in my place. Silenced as a kid, and now I'm in this to scream some things. And we'll just see where screaming leads. Oh, shoot. Okay. That's something I do pretty darn well. Like Jonah and the whale. What causes my ship to sail is being stuck in a den of lions. And I'd be lying if I knew how I can play with such a aggressive life like this. Like it's just a cat without getting bit. But I gotta always turn back to this. The gospel of Jesus Christ, specifically in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. No matter what I change my mind to try to be sane, I'd be insane. But that's why I called it as I did, Metronome Madness. It taught me this. More than I already knew, that we're crazy people. That's why we need the steeple, and I'm not too righteous for church. Call me self-righteous all you want. I'll be always on the hunt, searching for God. And hiding is something that he does not. But I do, in times that I don't know what to. And I bring it on myself, and he's the one that will help. Even when I don't deserve it, because I didn't even from the beginning. And he saved me from myself before I had the opportunity to ask for the help. That's something you couldn't possibly be offered by anybody else. And even if you don't ask, he gives it freely. And you just gotta reach out and grab. Get a nice firm grasp of that iron rod. And just follow it along. A straight, narrow course back to heaven. And he will let you in. Because he's just good like that. Without you even having to ask. He's in relentless pursuit. Of you. And me. And everybody in between.